All right, guys, today we got a special guest in the house. This man is an OG, triple OG, been in the game for a long time. Odds are he even battled one of your favorite rappers, straight from the main source, Mikey D.
Cheer. Hey, yo. You said triple OG. You might want to try quadruple at OG, man.
I wasn't trying to make you look too old. I didn't know.
It's all right. OG don't mean old guy. OG to me means offering guidance, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like that. Yeah, man. All right. So typically, I like to start at the beginning of the story, but there's just so much commotion right now going on with what's going on. So we got to start there fresh, fresh out the fryer, right? So we got to address what happened recently. First I want to say, man, I really appreciate you showing up today, man.
No doubt.
I did my thorough research on your story and everything. There's a lot of stuff that I know people are going to love. So I really hope that people watch the whole thing and not just the drama part, what I mean? Because there's a lot of good stories, a lot of good history in it. But thank you for blessing us with your presence today, man.
Absolutely not.
Recently, MC Serch was on Apathy's podcast.
Right.
Shout out to Apathy. And he said some things that you were not happy about.
Not at all.
He told a story about a confrontation between Main Source and Wild Pitch, right? At Wild Pitch.
Right.
And you said that he lied in the story. So talk to us about that. What happened?
He lied a whole lot. Let me, man, how can we do this? Shout out to Apathy once again. Okay, so here's the thing. When I first got with Main Source, right? This was in 93, right?
This was when you was Mikey Devastation, right?
Yeah, you got jokes, man. Come on, man. Mikey Destruction, baby.
I know, man. But that part was wild. That
was funny because I knew that Apathy caught a brain fart. I knew it was a mistake on his end. But for Serch to repeat it, that's what triggered me because Serch knows me personally. Mm-hmm. So if anything, you should have corrected him. Not only did you misenunciate my record, you said we had to do what you want. It was called What You Need, first of all. And then you repeated the devastation. And you know when you greet me as Mikey D or yo, what up, Destruction? You know what I mean? So that really ticked me off. So let's start here. When I first got down with Main Source, now mind you, I didn't even know Large Professor. I knew Large Professor was Main Source. I didn't know that he left the group or whatever transpired between them before I got there. I thought that I was getting down with a group that was already successful. You know what I mean? Because remember, I was already out. So I thought I was getting down with a crew. They from Queens. And I'm like, all right, I'll be like Nas and them. You know what I'm saying? Just a part of the crew. That's why in the record, I said, here comes Mikey D with the Main Source. You know what I mean? But then I later found out that Large Professor left the group. Okay, whatever. I don't want to know what happened between y'all and him. That's between y'all and him. Let's make this music. You know what I mean? So anyway, when I first got down with them and they were introducing me to this, the people at Wild Pitch and this, that, and the other, at that particular time, MC Serch was the vice president of marketing. He wasn't the vice president of the label and all of that big talk he'd be talking. He was the vice president of marketing. Okay, so one of the first meetings that we had, him and I there, he calls me in his office one-on-one, right? He tells me that he doesn't trust the group. He doesn't trust their management. I'm his boy, so he got to take care of me. He says to me, I'm going to introduce you to the same exact lawyer that I introduced Paulie to, who's Large Professor. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. Now I'm bugging out. I'm like, damn, I'm just getting down with this group. Why is this shit? Why is he bringing drama to me already? Pardon my language.
You're getting blindsided by the whole situation, basically.
Yeah, like what's this all about? Like, I'm not here for this. But he says to me, see, I didn't say anything for the simple fact that I'm happy to be in the position that I'm in. So I'm not going to stir up the pot. You know what I mean? So he tells me, remember this, Mikey D, if this conversation gets out of this office, I'm going to deny everything. Then he says to me, remember, I know people. Why would you say that to me? I'm already
so that's low-key threatening you then.
That's the way I took it.
Right.
That's the way I took it. Now, I'm already a loose cannon in them days. Normally, he would have got hands put to his mouth for saying some craziness like that to me. But because I was in that situation and it was fresh, I let it rock. I let it rock, but it never left my mind. Now, mind you, we did the album. Album is complete. Album is ready to drop. We got to do some promotion. So we go to California. They assigned Serch to be our road manager as we went over there. Our manager didn't come, who was Miss McKenzie. That's K-Cut and Sir Scratch's mom. Those two are brothers. But Sir Scratch wanted to come on this trip with us and, do what he does as vice president of marketing, And remember, at the same time, he was also just starting to manage Nas.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So we go to California. We were supposed to do the Soul Train performance and a couple of radio slots here and there. There was no album release party for us. It was a regular party, but we'll get to that. So we get to California. They blessed us with I think it was a limousine. It was some type of nice ride for us to get around to do what we had to do, this, that, and the other, right? But we really never got a chance to be in that vehicle because Serch always had the vehicle, riding around promoting Nas. You know what I mean? Like, yo, bro.
He was going to the radio stations and everything, right? It's like I heard that you say before.
Yeah, we were supposed to go to I don't remember going to no radio stations.
No, I'm saying that he was going to the radio stations to promote Nas.
Yeah, he's promoting Nas. But you out here on our time. I love Nas like a little brother, you know what I mean? But Serch, you out here on our time. This is supposed to be about our new album. Anyway, we do make it to Soul Train, right? We make it to Soul Train. We were supposed to do 2 songs. We were supposed to do What You Need Is the Source, and we were supposed to do another joint called The Main Source Coming One Time. We was going to knock it out. So we did the first one. The first one was a real success, but in between time, before us getting ready to go back, before us going back up there to do the second song, Serch is in the audience, and he's sticking Nas stickers and What You Need stickers on the people in the audience, thinking that if they face the camera, that's promotion. Don Cornelius was not having that. He was not happy about it, and he gave Serch a piece of his mind. And at the same time, we had to leave. We weren't allowed to do the second song and all of that. So he messed that up. He sabotaged that. You know what I'm saying? So now, boom.
Wait, before you go further. So was he in an argument with Don Cornelius, or was just like Don was like, yo, we want you to leave?
Don Cornelius was like, you can't promote. This is not what you're here for. You're not here to promote such and such. So whatever else happened between those two, I just know Don Cornelius was pissed off. You feel me? And all I know is we did not get a chance to do the second song that we were supposed to because of this guy, So, I mean, we got the first one off. That's cool. I got to get an autograph from Don Cornelius for my mom. That was cool. But Serch basically, he screwed up for the second performance. Now, a little later on, we're supposed to go to this party just to hang out and chill out. You know what I mean? Just wind down and chill. I remember Redman was in town. So I wound up going with Redman to the party. I think he rented a BMW or something like that. So I said, I'm gonna ride with Redman, you know what I mean? Because we got a lot to talk about. Because me and Redman, we used to rock in the parks together, you know what I'm saying? He was at Montebello Park in Queens when Biz Markie bought him out before he was even blown up. And no, I am not one of those guys from Montebello Park that Redman said Biz used to bring him to Queens and he had to take some people out. No, I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? He was in my hood. You feel me? But it's all love, man. Redman was dope. But so I go to this party with him. I don't remember exactly how K-Cut and Scratch got there. I don't even remember Serch being there. So when he told the story about a guy on the line pulling out a Mossberg shotgun or whatever, he said he pulled it out and searching, and the program director was in the car. I don't remember none of that. I do remember the dude pulling the shotgun out because I was standing right next to the dude. He pulled the gun out and he's beefing with somebody that was in front of me on the line. He wasn't beefing with the promoter. He was beefing with somebody in front of me. I remember his exact words. Are you down with Daz? Down with Daz. I'm like, he talking about Dog Pound? And then he turned around and I'm standing right there, but he didn't say nothing. I didn't have nothing to do with that. All I remember, Redman said, I got more records to make. Vroom, he was out, right? So my ride is gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. I'm still going in the club though, because the dude with the gun is gone. Main Source, they never came and they was somewhere across the street. It was only two of them, K-Cut and Serch Scratch. I don't remember Serch being there to save my life. I don't remember him being there. All I know is I was the only one that went in that club and I got up with my brother Biz Markie because Biz Markie was DJing in there that night. Me and him touched the stage and we rocked like we used to do it in the parks. That was my exact words. Yo, Biz, let's rock like we used to rock in 231 Park. You know what I mean? And we did it in Cali. Now, when I got back to the hotel, I think I might have had an argument with the two fellas. You know what I'm saying? Because I was tipsy at the time and, you know, whatever transpired, like, where was y'all at or whatever. But I didn't know what the situation was with them. But we got over our stuff. So when we flew back to New York, Serch didn't even fly back with us. You know what I mean? And then a few days later, we had a press conference at Wild Pitch Records. Now, this is the day that he was referring to, but he twisted a lot of stuff up and he inserted himself into something that really wasn't his drama. Although it was his drama, and I'm going to tell you why. Long story short, I remember Mike Geronimo and Irv Gotti being at the front of the office near the receptionist. I know they was bugging out with the receptionist or whatever. They had a meeting with Stu Fine, who is the owner of Wild Pitch. We had a press conference that day about the new album. So you know how they did it back in the days. Everybody's with their recorder, their pen and their pads. They interviewed you face to face. We didn't have this that we got right now. And we had Word Up, Right On, Fresh Magazine was there. The Source might have been in there. All of those magazines was there. So we chilling. Now I'm there with K-Cut, Serch Scratch. I had my two boys with me, the Twin Towers. They're not related. They're just two younger dudes that were extremely tall and they were built like Samoans. You know what I mean? And I used to, I always had these brothers with me because they were so young and they loved hip hop.
But wait. I thought they were down with Puerto Rican Supreme, right?
Oh, who's Puerto Rican Supreme, man? He said Puerto Rican Supreme, and I'm thinking like, what? They were with me. We don't even know a Puerto Rican Supreme. I'm from Queens. The only Supreme that I know is Supreme McGriff, and he is not Puerto Rican, bro. No disrespect to Puerto Rico, but you know what I'm saying? So that was a lie right there. Oh, they were that. And you say one thing, they're breaking everything up. Come on, man. We wasn't on that yet. I'm going to tell you what happened. So we do it. And I also had my cousin Mark with me. We're doing the interview. Everything is going fine. You know, I'm drinking my beer. I had 40s there. Everybody's having a good time. We're doing these interviews. Questions is flying left and right. It was beautiful. It was dope. Now we starting to hear commotion out in the hallway coming in the direction of us out in the hallway. Because this place, Wild Pitch's office was like, it was, I don't know if it was a music building or whatever it was, but you could hear what was going on out in the hallway. You know what I mean? Anyway, all I remember was, where the is Stu fine? Where the is Stu fine? And that was Miss McKenzie yelling at the top of her lungs. So Miss McKenzie is K-Cut and Serch Scratch's mom. She is also the manager of the group. It wasn't her, the manager, and some other guy. It was just her and her cousin. Hey, man. And she's furious. She wants to know where Stu Fine is. Till this day, Panda, I still don't know what she was pissed off over. To this day, I still don't know what the hell was that all about. She was wilding and looking for him. So, of course, Mercedes is like, yo, let's see what's up with Mom. You know, so they ready to wild out. You know what happened to me? I had a flashback. Remember, I know people. Now it's my time to get this mother. He threatened me. Now I'm going to show him who I am. You know what I mean? He locks himself in his office. What do? I tell my twin towers to kick the door down. My boys kicked that door down, and we was about to give Serch the business. Now, check this out. His office and Stu Fine's office, they were being renovated at the time. They were under renovation. So there was sheetrock in there. Matter of fact, it was like a big sheetrock wall that was in front of the window behind him. And that window showed the street of Manhattan. Like, you know, we on the third or fourth floor, whatever. All I remember is when we kicked that door down, he jumped up on his couch and jumped up over that damn sheetrock wall. We ready to get him. But guess what? You know what saved him? Because back in the days when we had beef with somebody, we were always on code. No women, no children. I noticed that his wife now, she was in there. And yes, she was pregnant.
Wait, but he abandoned his wife?
He abandoned her, bro. He jumped over that thing. He left her. He left her.
That's wild, bro.
He jumped over that joint. Bro, we couldn't even get to her. I thought he jumped out the window. Like, what the?
So he was on a ledge, right? He was like on a ledge of a window?
It was, yeah. He jumped over the sheetrock joint, and the window is on the other side of that. So he probably was on the ledge. But we stopped because his wife was in there pregnant, man. And I felt bad, like, damn, you know, she's pregnant, you know, let's chill. You know what I mean? We gonna chill. So everybody broke out. There were no guns involved, bro. He said, Miss McKenzie pulled the gun out on Stu Fine. There was no guns involved. And how would you know if anything was pulled out, if you were locked in your office or hiding out on the ledge or wherever the hell you was at? How would you even know that?
I heard she pulled out a knife.
I don't know. I don't recall no weapons, man. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, I don't remember no weapons because my focus was on him. Like I said, I don't even know to this day what the hell Stu Fine.
Well, I'm going based off of something you said in the previous interview. You said that she pulled out a knife.
Yeah, but my platform ain't as big as yours, and I don't want the statutory, to have dry snitching, man. Okay. I don't remember no weapons. But put it this way, even if it was a knife, there were no guns drawn. We never came in the office guns blazing. She pulled the 2.5 out of her panties, and Stu Fine's head was down, and there was none of that. And by Felicia, who's Felicia? And we were whack. Come on, MC Serch, MC Mikey D. When an MC calls another MC whack, those is not fighting words, but dual words. That means you better have your microphone ready at all times, because that's blatant disrespect. And you know me as destruction.
Is. Yo, let me ask you some clarifying details, because in a previous interview, I saw that you said that all the things that you shared right now is exact word for word like what you said. So it's like, if you're lying, a lot of times people will change the story and they won't remember how they told it and everything. You know what I mean? So it's pretty on point, right? But the one thing you said was when the Twin Towers broke in, you didn't think that you guys were going to hurt him. Like, were you just saying that back then that you weren't trying to hurt him, but you guys really did want to hurt him, or what?
I wanted to kind of bust his ass for what he said, but I didn't want to hurt him in front of his wife.
Okay.
His wife was there. It didn't feel right. Like, if she wouldn't have been there, it probably would have went left, because I was drinking. I was pissed. Flashbacks. Oh, he threatened me. Oh, no, you know what I mean? They remembered it because I told them. Yeah, man.
So you had so prior to you having the flashbacks, you didn't like him, obviously, but like you weren't having any intentions of doing anything to him. But in that moment of chaos, something caused you to feel like, okay, now's the time.
Yeah,
we're gonna get
exactly. Because look, when it first happened, when he said all of that, I was brand new. I have nothing to prove. It's just me and him. And plus, mind you, Serch and me never had a problem prior to this, man. He was in this 88 seminar with me, you know what I'm saying? The one that I won. And
right. We're going to talk about that in a second.
He got kicked out of there because Mr. Magic threw water on him and he had all of that beef. But he's from Far Rockaway. That's a part of Queens. I'm from Queens. You know, this is Serch. You know, we from the same era. So there was never that type of animosity. I never looked at him as none of that. But when he said that to me, I know people, like, what do you mean? You know people? That I took that as a threat. And no, I didn't think he put a hit out on us in California, nor did the brothers. They didn't think nothing of that. Like, what? Why would he put a hit out on us to begin with? That's what I'd like to know. Why would he even say they thought I put a hit out on them? Why would we? What would give us?
That would also not be really smart if he's the road manager for that situation at the time. Like, why choose that time to do that if he? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of it's just not adding up. It's just
that's because he lied. He made himself look like the victim and all of that, which he almost became a victim. But he did dirty stuff, and it all added up. But it started. The spark was. Remember, I know people. Or when if this word gets out of this office, I'm going to deny everything. And remember, I know people. I didn't like that. And so now I'm watching, you feel me? And then this stuff that's going on in California, I'm not feeling that. Like, yo, why are we not doing what we're supposed to do? Why is this guy promoting Nas? Man, Nas is, like, again, that's my little brother, but why are you promoting Nas on our time? And Nas ain't even with Wild Pitch, man.
Right.
So you taking out, it's like he sabotaged our trip. So that kind of stuck in my head too. So while they were dealing with Stu Fine, I wanted to deal with him. That's all that was.
Mike Geronimo and Irv Gotti was there present at the time. And he told the story, too, on Math Hoffa's podcast. And he said that after witnessing the confrontation, they were laughing and was like, I don't think we want to be here at this label.
I don't want to be at this label. Yeah. I mean, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all that was. You know what I'm saying? it is what it is. And I never had a problem with Stu Fine. I still don't know what the drama was about. And I never even really had a problem with Serch. And it's so crazy because just a few years ago, like, you know, after I changed my life around, you know, from the drinking and hanging out and, you know, just righting all my wrongs, he was one of the dudes, like, I reached out to LL Cool J, you know what I'm saying, and squashed our stuff. Around all of that time, I reached out to Serch, like, yo, bro, man, it's been years. I don't think I've ever apologized for my ignorance up at Wild Pitch, you know. And he hit me back, like, apology accepted, and I know it wasn't aimed at me, and blah, blah, blah. But
I saw you put up the screenshot of the messages too.
Yeah, the receipt. Word up. So now I'm like, damn, I got an album coming out. I'm working with some people in Finland, and they looking at me like, are we dealing with another death row kind of guy? And I'm like, I'm not that person no more. You know, so by him spreading that false narrative, it kind of, you know, made me not look too good. And plus, I caught flashbacks again. And it, you know, at the same time, I could thank him for releasing Mikey Destruction because I had him locked away for some time. Now you can hear it in my music, but now, you know, it made that aggressive Mikey come back, and goddamn, this beast is not going to stop, bro.
So you said that, like, you felt guilty about that for years, right? Like, what happened that made you finally want to rectify that situation with him where you apologized to him?
Thinking about his wife and what could have happened. Like, and then when he said she broke her water and all that, or she started leaking, I don't remember none of that. I don't think that was the truth. What was that? Oh, I don't think that was the truth or anything. But I just felt bad because I was like, damn, we could have made her lose the baby. Or, you know what I'm saying? Something could have happened. And it just keeps running back in my mind.
You're more mature now, and you're thinking about like, those type of things. And I get you.
Yeah. Like all of the stuff that I was just doing, the dumb stuff, I just wanted to just clear myself of all of that. And if it took me to apologize to whoever I wronged, you know what I mean? I felt that that's what I had to do, is being the humble me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a different time, and I'm not that guy no more.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I saw you said in the past that Miss Mackenzie wanted the album to come out on a bigger label. So she kind of used that situation of what happened in California as a reason to get mad, to try to get off of the label.
I think, to me, I think that's what it was. That's what I think happened. But if that's the case, I think it backfired, because they did give us the release. Stu Fine gave us the release, but he didn't release us with the album because they owned the masters. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it came out years later, you know what I mean, than the initial release date, because we went through all of this shit, and then, you know, that happened. So I think that's what I think. I guess we're going to have to wait until they do a documentary on me, so I can get to know what was we beefing with Stu Fine about. Because like I said, I didn't have beef with Stu Fine because, first off, I wasn't signed to the label. I was signed to Main Source Production.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was signed to the group. They were signed to the label. I just happened to get down when they was going through something, you know?
So do you have people that know Serch personally that could get word to him? Like, has there been any correspondence since he said what he did? And, you know?
Bro, I am quite sure they have spoke to him, because I've gotten calls from neutral people that we both know. People sent me his number. I could show you texts from credible people with Serch's number. But my thing is, I didn't throw the first stone, so why am I going to call him to reach out to him? The same way y'all are giving me his number, please give him mine. He can reach out to me, and I'll gladly pick up the phone. I'll gladly respond to a text. I respect that. But to blatantly ignore it and don't take accountability for nothing is a slap in my face, man. That's how I look at it as a man of integrity.
What is the intention? What is the intention, do you think, for him to bring up that story now in 2025?
I think it's Serch being Serch. It's just another memorable moment that he makes himself look like the victim because he's been doing this for years. You know what I mean? It was all right until my name became involved. Like, I just used to laugh at the stuff that I would read and see with Serch. I'm like, Serch is searching again, you know, but then when it's you and your name is on the line, man, it hits different. You feel me? And I'm just like, damn, man. You know, and if you know me, you know I usually don't do the internet thing. But because he went public with it, I went public with it.
Yeah, I saw people in the comments was showing a lot of support for you. Like Kool said that Serch and Fat Joe are neck and neck for the most lies told. Like there was other people saying stuff. And I was like, damn, it was pretty serious, you know.
Yo, and it's fun, man. He's capping he's capping America, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Captain America. I got a new one for him too, man. He's Captain Kangaroo, man. Remember Captain Kangaroo back in the day? Captain Kangaroo, man. Yeah, man. This guy.
So if there's one thing that you could say to Serch right now, what would it be?
Yo, just holler at me, man. Holler at me, and then you know I'll take the I'll take the Tommy gun off safety because you know I got a whole drum loaded, ready to rock and roll because I'm a real MC. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't hear from him in the next few days, I'm unleashing something special. You heard? Yeah, better believe that. Yeah, and it's been a while.
Not gonna go into the street. We're not at that age of being like that.
I don't look at Serch as a threat. I still have friends and family that's really like that, and the wolves are not on that. Everybody just chill. This is hip hop. At the end of the day, I still got love for Serch because, you know what I'm saying? From the era that we come from, I'm keeping this hip hop, but I'm going to show the people how to dance on another MC. And I'm going to show the people why people from our era never mentioned my name. Because you think 50 Cent was a bully? Where you think he get it from, man? I was bullying the rappers in the streets for a long time. Lyrically, not bullying, you know, on no street drama. I'm just talking about rhyme for rhyme. They don't call me Mikey D Destruction for nothing.
Got you. All right. So let's take it back to the beginning. So you're from Queens. Were you born in Queens?
Born in Queens General Hospital. Gets no better than that.
And which part of Queens were you living most of your life?
Laurelton. Laurelton is in Springfield Gardens, like Jamaica, Queens, Southeast Jamaica, Queens.
Okay. And did you grow up with any siblings?
Nope. Grew up as the only child. I do have siblings, though, from my pops. Papa was a Rolling Stone. Well, not really. I'm my mother's only son. So I grew up as an only child.
So what did your parents do for work when you were growing up?
Well, my parents, my moms and pops, they weren't together. I think they were just, you know, messing around. And my mom when I was born, she was only 17 years old and stuff like that. And, you know, she thought she was on her own and all of that. So my grandparents raised me, my mother's mother and father, they raised me. So I was raised by Nana and Daddy. That was my grandmother and my grandfather. Mom's was always there, but, you know, she was young, you know.
Right. So, like, when you, as a only child, was that lonely for you? Or did you had cousins and, like, you had other people that...
Matter of fact, I got two older cousins. At the time, I had two older cousins, Keith and Karen are my older cousins. And then I have a younger cousin. He passed away not too long ago, Corey. So those were the ones. And then Kimberly, my other cousin, she's the baby of all of us. She came along. But that was that. I learned how to play by myself for a long time until I was able to go outside.
Got you. Okay. So what was your relationship like with your parents growing up, though?
Me and Mom's was close. You know what I'm saying? I hated my stepfather. You know, I just recently forgave him as well, you know what I mean? And had panic attacks and all that shit after I spoke to him. But I hated my stepfather. I loved my mother. We were close. Even my father, he would come visit me. You know what I'm saying? And my pops was super cool, man. Vic. Oh, man, he was super cool.
So what was the reason why you didn't get along with your stepdad, though?
Stepdad was military, very, very abusive to my mom.
Gotcha.
He was very abusive, and I was too young to be able to do anything like that. They used to live in Roosevelt, Long Island, and I used to go visit my mom. And every time I would go out there to visit, they would pick me up. It was always something going on with this guy. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I couldn't stand it.
So your mom is living separately, though, from you guys.
So what happened is my mom's wound up marrying this dude. His name was, he's still alive too, Richard Mason. So my mother became Linda Lee Mason. So she was married to him. And my grandparents, I don't think they wanted me around this guy because, like I said, he was very abusive, you know what I mean? I remember him beating on my moms and stuff like that. So my grandmother and my grandfather raised me, and I lived in the house with them two and my Uncle Jerry.
That must have been so traumatic for you as a child to witness something like that, though.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was what it was. I couldn't do nothing about it. I hated him. But see, here's the thing. When I got a little bit older, actually, when I first started rapping in 79, right before Sugar Hill Gang and Fatback Band, before the first two hip hop records came out, my mom's had left him for a while, right? And then he resurfaced and came back into her life when I was about 12, 13 then. So he asked my mother if she would move with him to Texas, Austin, Texas. And they wanted me to go. You know what I mean? My grandmother, she didn't want me to go. My grandfather didn't want me to go, but my mom's wanted me to go. So I went, you know what I'm saying? And we got down to Austin, Texas, and things was all right for a minute. But then the stuff started again. And then, you know what I mean? Now he's he never put his hands on me, but he was getting real aggressive with me. You know what I mean? And the last incident, I couldn't take it no more. So I backed out a knife and you know, stabbed him in his leg and stabbed his waterbed and all that shit up. Excuse my language. And then right after that, my grandfather sent for us and we was on the next flight out of there, man. And I never saw him again. And he just reached out to me recently, man. I'd say about maybe a year ago. Didn't know my mom's passed away. Didn't know my whole family was gone. And then I asked me.
So they separated at that time when you ended up stabbing them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She left them for good after that. But okay. They separated when I was younger, too. They separated when I was younger. She moved back into the house with us and all of that. But he came back years later. You know what I'm saying? I might have been 7 or something like that when they broke up. And then he came back when I was like 12, 13.
Right. No, I mean, after the stabbing incident, that's when they separated for good.
That was it. Okay. That was it. We never saw him again. That was it. That was that.
So, I mean, for you in that moment, right? Like, what kind of emotions were you feeling when? I mean, obviously, you never did something like that before, right? Like, you never stabbed.
Nah. That's protecting mom. That's protecting mom and just the anger of, you know, of the evil person this man was, man. This guy was, man, listen, I hated him. I hated him. I really hated him.
So when you talk about the situation with Serch and how you've been through some stuff and you had some flashbacks and stuff of feeling threatened and whatnot, was it related to something like this?
I mean, it could have been subconsciously. It could have been, man. Who knows, man? But you know what I mean. But I don't know. Now with Serch, it was something different, man. It was just I don't know, the way he tried to flex on me with that. I know people. I took that as a threat, and especially the person that I was in the streets at that time, and the people that I knew, and the people that I rolled with. like if it would have been anybody else in that office, they wouldn't have took kindly to that. You know what I'm saying? So I had a choice right then and there to either F up the future that I was about to get or let him get a pass this time. So I gave him the pass, but, you know, it resurfaced. That's all.
So what did your stepdad say to you last year when he reached out? Like, what made him, after all this time, contact you?
It's because his sister reached out to me on Ancestry or something like that. And I wound up talking to her, and she said he's still alive, this, that, and the other. So I'm like, damn, I'm going through all of this forgiving people stages. So that's one of the biggest hates that I held on to for the longest. You know, I just wanted to let it go. You know what I mean? Because I'm talking about, I held a lot of hate for people in my heart that you would not believe, man. Like,
well, you know, and it's true, when you get older, you start to realize how much of a weight that carries, how much of a burden it really is. Like, it hurts you more than it hurts the person that you're upset with.
Because they don't know the hate you carry.
Right.
And it's damaging you through stress and emotionally. It definitely takes its toll. So I just wanted to let it go. You feel me? And he wound up calling me. And I mean, we spoke, and he sounded like a completely different person. Like, he was like humble and kind, and, you know, it kind of caught me off guard. Like, oh man, because I'm thinking that he's going to be this aggressive dude again. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling me he's sorry for everything that happened. And he asking me, how's my mom's? And I'm like, man, my mom's passed away, man, 2014. Oh my God, sorry to hear that. How's such and such? Everybody that he asked how they was doing, they all gone. I'm the last one left from that side of the family.
Man.
And so even after we hung up and I let it go, that same day I began having panic attacks. Like, out of nowhere, I just started having panic attacks, me. And I don't wish panic attacks on nobody, because you can't tell if it's a heart attack or what it is, man. I was laying on the floor, like, just to relax myself. I was sweating, panic attacks, B. But I haven't spoken to him since that day, but I let it go.
But did you connect why you were having the panic attacks?
Oh, I knew exactly why I was having the panic attacks, because he caught me off guard. Anytime something, because I suffer from anxiety disorder, right? So anytime something catches me off guard, I'll go through a panic attack. That's why I'm strict with my time. I'm just on point. Like, one thing goes wrong, like let's say, for instance, if I got something to do, if I got a show to do or something, I know exactly before it happens what I want to do, how I want to be, what time I want to move, what time I want to pull up. And the first thing that a traffic jam or anything will send me into a panic attack, because this wasn't supposed to happen. I had it planned this way, you know. But I'm dealing with it. I learned how to deal with it, man. But yeah.
You know, it's interesting because, like, you know, we learned that a lot of times our core memories in our childhood and stuff like that are so attached to certain people, right? So, like, I'm sure, like, even just hearing his voice again kind of brought you back to a space that was not good.
At first, until I realized how humble he was being and kind. And I'm saying, this isn't the man that I know. You know what I'm saying? It's his voice, but his whole demeanor changed, and I couldn't understand it. And it's like, damn, like, if this was the person that I was mad at, how can I be mad at this guy? You know what I mean? He completely changed, man. So it threw me off. And then me thinking of the person that who I spoke to today compared to the person that he was, and then I'm thinking about all of those memories, that's when I started thinking too deep, man, and started catching those panic attacks, man.
So have you had one since then, or you?
That's correct. I haven't even had one since that conversation.
Wow. That's crazy, man. You know, they say that a lot of times when you have a situation like that, the best thing to do is like to shock your body out of it. So like taking a really cold shower, jumping in the pool or something like that, it forces your body to respond. And that's how like you get out of it.
Oh, and that, you know, I learned how to do this. I can feel when a panic attack is coming, when a panic attack is coming on.
You got the onset of it.
So I treat the panic attack like it's nothing but a bully, because it's not going to be able to hurt me. So bring it on. Come on, I'm ready for you. And I wait for it. It never comes. Because now I know, and I'm not scared of you. You're just a panic attack. You know what I mean? So I haven't had one since that day.
That's good, man. So you're born in the late 60s and really coming up in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
Take us through your hood as a kid when you walk in the street. Like, what are you seeing? Help paint the scene for us. What is Queens like in that time?
My part of Queens is Lawton, Queens. My block was a mixed block. We had white people, we had Black people, we had Puerto Rican people, we had Jamaican people. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was neighbors. Doors was always open in the summertime. You know what I'm saying? Kids riding their bikes, you know. We had a store that was right around the corner. We didn't even have to go in the street to get to the store. We stay right on the sidewalk and walk around the block, and we had the store. I'm talking about, it was a lot of kids on the block, and playing two-hand touch in the middle of the street. You know, cars wasn't coming through like that. Roundup, hide and go seek, all of the kids from the block, and parents were able to discipline the other children. You feel me? Like if you do something wrong and Miss Perez saw you doing something wrong, she had permission to discipline you, you know.
So
and
you got your ass kicked by her, and then you went home and got your ass kicked by your parents.
And then you went home and got your ass kicked again. So belt to ass worked for our generation, man, because if you notice, cats from our generation, we a whole different breed. We're raised with respect and the whole nine, because that belt to ass, and you go ahead and say you're going to call police on your parents. Boy, yeah, not in those days, but yeah, so it was nice, man. It was real nice, man. We had our there was racism and stuff like that back then too, because across the bridge there was a town called Rosedale, Queens. So they actually have a documentary out on Rosedale, Queens, where one of the first Black families tried to move into that town. The drama they had to go through. And I remember we was young, and riding our bikes at nighttime across that bridge, and them chasing us back across the bridge and all of that, because the bridge was the borderline. They could come on this side, we couldn't go on that side. So we had stuff like that. I remember they had the schools when they was integrating schools, putting, you know what I mean, bringing us together in them schools in the 70s. And that was kind of crazy, you know what I mean? But then it all,
because you're growing up in the civil rights era, like, or coming right off of that at that time, right?
Yeah, I was born in 67, man. So during the 70s, yeah, it was still kind of ill, you know. But as far as the neighborhood, though, the neighborhood was beautiful. And that's why I don't say Lawton is my hood. Lawton was my neighborhood, because all of the neighbors were still there. Now it's the hood because nobody knows their neighbor anymore. People are, you know, when I was living out there, we all had our own homes, man. You had, you know, I had Nana and Daddy in the house together. Everybody had Mommy and Daddy and whatever, and you own that whole house. Now, that one house is 3 different families living in there on top of each other, and they don't even know who they're living in there with. Man, when we was coming up, our next door neighbors used to bring us food and stuff, or we take turns.
It was more of a community.
Yeah, my grandparents would take turns inviting the neighbors over for poker games, and, you know, them going to other people's house playing poker. Man, it was the neighborhood was beautiful. I loved coming up in Lawton.
So because it was so diverse, though, it made you more of like a well-rounded person, though, right? Because you got to learn from different people's cultures.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even look at it as different cultures. I just looked at us as people, man. That color thing didn't bother me until I saw what it was like on the other side of the bridge and how some people felt about us. Like, these people are not like the people on my block. People on my block, they just like us. We're just like them. But these people hate us. You know what I mean?
It's unfortunate because, as kids don't know racism unless they're taught it. Like, it's like you play with so-and-so, you're not looking at the color when you're a little kid like that. It's like, it's not until you hear like your parent or somebody around you tell you like, don't play with so-and-so because they're this or these type of people aren't good. That's when those kids, they learn that, but it's the innocence is like a precious thing because like kids don't care about any of that stuff in the beginning.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, man. And that's how it was, man. Word. It was dope. It was dope. It was dope.
It's sad, man, when you think about that. But yeah. So how would you describe yourself as a kid though? Like, were you quiet? Were you really into school, music, sports?
Nah, I was quiet. I was never in sports and none of that. Mm-hmm. I was never in sports. I used to love boxing, we would slap box and all of that. And I watched boxing, Muhammad Ali and all of the greats was out back then. But I was never into baseball, football, basketball, or none of that. You know what I'm saying? In school, I was pretty quiet and shy, curly hair, skinny, pigeon-toed, you know what I'm saying? Hazel eyes, I was a little different. You feel me? So yeah, I was shy, man, timid,
Right. So you're coming up during the early stages of hip hop, right? How do you feel? Because you got to witness so much, I'm sure, from hip hop being built up, right? How do you feel about now with the FBA debate over who created hip hop and Fat Joe saying 50-50 between blacks and Latinos? Like, what did you personally see growing up?
Well, let me tell you something. This is so ill because remember earlier when I said I got two older cousins, Keith and Karen? Mm-hmm. When I was young and I used to go over Keith and Karen's house in St. Albans, my cousin Karen used to always wear these, and I was young. I had to be about 8 or 9, somewhere like that. Me and Corey was real little. But she always had these sweatshirts with the letters on them. You know what I mean? And it said, Woody's Angels. I didn't know what that was. And come to find out, she wound up having my second cousin, little Karen. My cousin had a baby with Woody Wood. Woody Wood was a very, very popular DJ from Queens in the 70s, but I wasn't introduced to hip hop yet. Mm-hmm. And my cousin was already into hip hop. You feel me? I'm like, yo, I'm still bugging out off of that too, because I was already rocking the microphone when I realized my cousin was into hip hop before me, But yeah. So the early stages. Wait, what was the question again? Because I just lost.
Right. No. You know how now there's like the argument about like hip hop was created by the FBA, and then like Fat Joe was talking about it's 50-50 between blacks and Latinos and stuff.
Yeah. I don't care who created it. I'm just happy it discovered me. I don't care if it was if it was a Hawaiian lady doing a hula hoop that discovered hip hop. I'm just glad it was, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad somebody did it. I mean, I heard all of the stories about Kool Herc. I heard stories about PANDA. I heard stories about Mario, this and that. You know what I mean? I remember block parties in Queens before I was rapping. You know what I'm saying? I remember.
Yeah, so like talk about that. Was it diverse though? Did you see people of all colors at there participating in hip hop at that time?
Well, when I didn't know what hip hop was, man. I was introduced to hip hop in 79.
Okay, so that's when a lot of time had passed already.
77, and if it started in 73, so they say.
Right.
I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't hear nothing about it. 77, I didn't hear nothing about it. I remember 79, and I remember exactly how I heard it. And it was from my man D Money, who lived right next door to me. My grandmother and grandfather lived here. D Money's grandparents lived right next door. And D Money and his brother Mike Action lived in Harlem. Mike Action is an older brother, D Money's older brother. So he was going to those jams uptown. And this particular summer, D Money took some tapes out of his brother's shoebox or whatever, and he came outside on the steps in front, and there was a bunch of us out there, and he popped this tape in. And man, what I heard, I went crazy. And I remember Grandmaster Caz on that tape. I remember he dissed somebody in the crowd. Like, I was just tripping because this dude is talking, but he's rhyming and the beat is playing. I was amazed. And then he told a story about this girl named Yvette. Mm-hmm. I went crazy. People try to tell me it was 81. I know it was 79 because the 2 rap records didn't come out yet. And my nana bought the 2 rap records that came out in 79 and sent them to me when I was in Texas. So I had just started rapping because when I was down in Texas, I told the people in Texas, this is me on the record, because nobody out there knew what hip hop was, and those records came out. And I was rapping, but I lied and I told people that I was Master G. I'm 13 years old lying because I knew nobody knew what hip hop was then. Down there, didn't even make it that far yet. But anyway, so Grandmaster Caz, D Money introduced me to hip hop. I went next door that same night and I wrote my first rhyme and I copied Grandmaster Caz's where he talked about Yvette. I wrote a rhyme about a girl named Kim. And the first person that heard my rap was my nana. Now, mind you, my nana, she was white. She was white, but she had soul like a mother effer. You know what I mean? My grandpops was black though. You know what I mean? But Nana was the first person that heard me say the rhyme because I said it to her and she co-signed and said, that's really good. You know what I mean? So I couldn't wait to go outside the next day and kick it to my boys. So D Money and them was the first ones that heard it. And from then on, I never looked back. It was off to the races after that.
So on that same tape, you also heard Kool D and the Cold Crush too, right?
Cold Crush, Grandmaster Caz was with. Mm-hmm. Grandmaster Caz was with Cold Crush when they did that. They was doing one of the conventions. The Kool D tape, I don't think it was the same exact day. But when I did hear that Mo D tape, that's when I started writing more aggressive rhymes and wanting to battle people. And through hip hop, that's when I broke my shyness and I found myself through hip hop. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't no longer shy and all of that, because now I could put these words together and I'm pretty good with it. You feel me? That's what they told me. So yeah. I became real competitive.
So then you, Lil B, and D Money formed a group, and that's when you did the Playboy Mike and everything, right? Mikey D, and you guys emulated the Force MCs before they became the Force MDs.
You did some damn research, didn't you, Jive Turkey? You did some damn research. So.
Yo, did you have the dance moves too? Like you guys?
Nah, to this day, I still can't dance. Yo, you know what? You are funny because you mentioned me, Little B, and D Money. My boy Dave Moore, when we used to make our cassette tapes, he just sent me an MP3 of one of the first tapes that we made. Oh, I got it. So now I can send it. You got WhatsApp?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna send you the WhatsApp of it. Right. So when we started our first group, it was Lovable Little B, Ever Loving Kid Ice, and Playboy Mikey D. And we were the Grandmaster 3. Look, Grandmaster Caz is the one that inspired us. So Grandmaster 3. That's right. And DJ Johnny Quest. And we made all our early tapes in Dave Moore's crib.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
That's crazy that you mentioned that because now I got that damn tape.
Right. Man, roll the clip.
I keep it rockin', I keep it rockin', I keep it rockin'. So little please, my man, I got a lot of respect. Well, check it out, I can put a crowd in check. I like this love, look, stop, rock, stockin' up, bottle of rock, and she can wake up in the morning. You put all the clothes, roll, rock the tree. The boat, you know, you get your mother to buy in the after school. You teach the teachers, you know the rules, then you go the class, over hit the roof. You learn the bounce, I know the beat, I like this love, you don't stop, rock, stockin' up, bottle of rock, say two. 4, 6, 8, 9, man, get ice,
all right, so in the early 80s, you meet this rapper that would later be considered the GOAT. He was going by the name of Jay Ski, and he changed his name to Kool James, and you suggested to him that he should add Ladies Love to his name, and he shortened it to LL Cool J.
Yeah. Yes,
now, at first, he wanted to be in a group with you, though, right?
Yeah, he actually wanted to take my spot in the Clientele Brothers, man, but my brother Eddie OJ wasn't having it, you heard? I'm the one that brought James around the way and introduced him to everybody as my cousin and all of that. And he went behind my back and tried to take my spot in the Clientele Brothers, man. What is wrong with you, James?
Come on, James, man.
Yeah, nah, but it's all love, man. Yo, we still rocked out at a lot of parties, man. A lot of great memories with L, man. You know, he was Jay Ski. We had two mutual friends that did. Now here's the real story, because I know me and LL was going through our thing in the 80s, and I was feeding into it because it was pride against ego. His pride, my ego, and it just clashed. You feel me? We never had real physical beef or street beef. It was always hip hop. And, you know, I could say I might have been like a hater, basically, because I was around people that was hating on him, and I'm in the street and he out there doing it. You know what I mean? So, and I knew I was nice. You know what I'm saying? It's just where he is today is where he wanted to be when we were young. He was always disciplined enough to use his money and take the bus and train wherever he wanted to go. I'd use my money to buy a 40 ounce from Poppin' Kim's, infamous plug. And so when we first met, we had mutual friends. He got a friend named Calvin. Cal, that was his name. And then my boy is Dave Molicio. And Cal telling Dave, because like I said, I was young and I was already popular in the streets because of the Clientele Brothers, because of tapes that Johnny Quest and me had made. So I had hood fame. And Cal told Dave Molicio that Jay Ski wanted to meet me or whatever. So we met at this spot called Roller Castle out in Elmont, Long Island. And we met, so we compared notes. We was rhyming back and forth, and I was real amazed and shocked that he sounded so much like me. It was like, listening to him was like hearing myself. He had the same cadence. He had the same growl. We were the same age. He was taller than me, but we were like the same build because we were both skinny at the time. It was before he became the damn Incredible Hulk. I still asked him for them damn vitamins. Like, yo, Jay, what vitamins is you taking, man? Because, yo, man, I need that. You know, but so we became really close. You know what I mean? He even started going to school around the corner from my crib because when he left Andrew Jackson High School, he went to a school called Christopher Robbins. Tashina Arnold went to that school. My boy Mark the 40 Killer went to that school, and Cool J went to the school. So it was right around the corner from the crib. And I never really went to high school like after hip hop. You know, I was just bad. I stayed home. You know what I mean? And Cool J used to come to the crib. He used to cut class sometimes and come to the crib, and Nana used to make him some, you know, it'd be like, Mike is upstairs asleep. And Nana always made these damn egg sandwiches. So Jay always had a good egg sandwich before I woke up. You know what I mean? But I remember one day he came around the way and he was like, yo, Mike, I changed my name, man. I'm gonna be Cool James, man. Cool James. And I'm like, word, that's dope, man. Cool James. I say, yo, you should have something in front of it, man. You know what I mean? We walk into the store, probably drinking on Valentine or something like that. I was like, how about some Ladies Love or Love, Ladies Love? And he's like, yo, that's it. So it became Ladies Love, Cool J and Playboy Mikey D. I got a cassette tape of that too for you.
Wow. Of you guys rapping together?
Us rapping together at a block party before records.
That's amazing. Bro, wow, man. Bro, that's hip-hop history.
Bro, when you hear this tape, you're not going to be able to tell who's rhyming.
Man, roll the clip.
1, 2, check this out. On the microphone at this time, the man that'll take any MC out with just one rhyme is the legendary Playboy Mikey D. Jackson. The man by my side to make your nature rise, rockin' anyway, my man Ladies Love Cool J. And we gonna do a little something like this, you know why? I'm the intelligent rapper, MC Destroyer. No need to get paid, I'm my own employer. Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, I eat Goya. Wanna hear a rhyme, and I got one for ya. Showstopper, fresh as hip-hopper. Don't look on the bottom, cause I'm on the top of the list of rapping, not an MC toy. And yeah, I must admit that I am a playboy. Ladies in the place, I'm the king of the jam. Some of y'all don't even know who I am. I don't like doing parties where my fans ain't at. When I rap, people say, who the fuck is that? Well, I'm a heartbreaker and my name is Mike. Here's a slight description of what I like. I like a girl that's fly, 17 at least. Not a dog or a monkey or a ugly beast. Gotta have a fly face, a body with grace. Jay, if I see her, I'll throw the bass. I rap for a while, let her know who's best. Give it 15 minutes, we'll be at my rest. I'll take her to my room and lock the door. And oh man, if she's a virgin, she won't be no more. Your body I'll win, then I'll get in you. Do it for a while, then let's continue. I'll make you scream because I forced it. After round one, you'll be so exhausted. I'll take you home and clear my voice with a cough. Give you one last kiss, then cut you off. Then you'll think for a second, and then say, how can all this happen in just one day? So you better beat it, or be defeated. Your own microphone, I will make you eat it. I am imperial, pro material. Kids all over eat Mikey D cereal. A definitely with the pride and the glory. Ladies in the place, I'll be on your best story. Not all my children, no edge of night. I have my own soap opera, The Guiding Mike. My name was Mikey D, but that's a bunch of bull. Now I'm Mikey D. Jackson, the original. Rock, rock, y'all. Rock, rock, y'all. Rock, rock, and shock, it won't stop, y'all. Cool J, my man, with the rapping brain. I'm passing it only to you. The others are plain. I want our show to be funky, fresh, and also unique. Just get on the mic and save a little mystique. And you don't stop, until the short shot, Well, I'm the greater insulator, microphone dominator. My name is Cool J, manipulator, innovator. Roses are red and so are white boys. Inadequate vocabulary, charm, and poise. Being televised on Johnny Cussin. Burning on the mic, so they call it ussin'. Slippery woman, wet girl, this chick, and Bessie, double OLJ. With the depth concepts, audio of the shoulder, man, you cannot resist. I should get a peace prize for a rhyme like this. Terrorizing MCs to give my ego a lift. USC offered me 3 scholarships. Ladies Love Cool J, I'm pointed to the top. The great leaders of the world are on my jock. The week's best photos in Jet Magazine. Me and Pam Grier on the Just Set scene. Asiatic black man with my own mellow tone. Diabolical rapper resting on the throne. Gonna reach great heights and altitude in flight to the corners of the world. Just me and my microphone exciting, I suppose, eliminating my foes. Top rank amateurs as well as the professionals of the field. Modern day big wheel. Imagine Cool J with public appeal. And going for a challenge is a great mistake. I can say the kind of rhyme you can think I can make. I'm the beat elevator, the depth run creator. Sucker MCs, I will see you later. You want me to autograph your basketball? Even want 3 posters of me on your wall. Disrupt your nervous system so that you scream. Send all my fan mail at GQ magazine. I completed a ladder. MCs can't climb. They gave me a Grammy for the deafest rhyme. But this epic adventure is coming to an end. Don't worry, Cool J will be back again. There's only one more position left for me on the top. It was provided by the innovators of hip hop. To build this position, you must speak with skill. So Mikey D, I'm Cool J. Just do what you will.
Anyway, yeah, man. So yeah, me and him, we sound like twins, man. You know what I mean? And I remember when he first got the Def Jam deal, I didn't know.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Is it true that he came to you with a contract and said you guys can become the next Run DMC?
Yeah. He told me that. He told my man Mark the 40 Killer that too. He told 40 Killer that because sometimes when I would be asleep or whatever, I don't know if he thought I was avoiding him. He would go down the block to my man 40 Killer's crib, but he told him the same exact thing. But the reason I didn't do it is because I didn't believe him, man. I just didn't believe him. I never heard of Def Jam at the time. I thought he was pulling my leg. You know, back then, all of us had stories and stuff like that. And I just thought he was taking it too far or whatever. But at the same time, he always wanted to be there, man. I would wonder why he would look at the records and write the numbers down or the addresses and all of that stuff. He always did that. And as I said before, where he is today is where he wanted to be back then. Me, I just wanted to be the dopest MC in my neighborhood. I wanted to be the dopest rapper. I wanted to keep it real, as they would say. You know what I mean?
That's another thing that they said that you saw that he was going to go a more commercial route and you wanted to keep it more street. Is that true?
No, I never thought he would go a commercial route. I never thought that. Because remember, the first record he came out with was I Need a Beat.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't commercial. That was hard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought that was me. That was the beginning of us going this way because when that record came out, everybody thought it was me. Yo, that's not you. Yo, he stole your style. Oh my God. Yo, he wearing a Kango. Oh, we all wore Kangos. That wasn't just me at all. Everybody wore Kangos. And he didn't
But wasn't he wearing like a Jerry curl more and a headband and stuff like that at the time?
Yeah, when I met him, that's what he had on. He had a headband. He had Jerry curls.
It's kind of hard to picture him with hair now, though. You know?
Yeah, he had hair back then, but you know the Kango and the alpacos and mock necks, that was the dress of that day. You know what I'm saying? And I always wore Kango, but I pulled mines down like I was looking like, you know, crazy with mines. Sometimes we would stuff the Kangos with plastic bags to make them stand up like a bell, or I would just pull mine down and let it flap, you know what I'm saying? Looking crazy, you feel me? But
anything to look good, right? Even if it's not like comfortable. That's what's so funny about hip hop fashion.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, just to clarify everything, he never stole my style because like I said, he already had it when I met him. He already was flowing like that. And when you hear this tape, you're going to see there's a similarity there. You know what I'm saying? Now, when he said, forget Oreos, eat Kool J cookies, people, you know, I had a problem with it at the time too, but that's because subconsciously I knew that he didn't bite the rhyme because he had that rhyme before he made records. I had Mikey D cereal that was a popular rhyme in the streets. I am imperial, pro material. Kids all overeat Mikey D cereal. And then a few weeks later, he came with the Kool J cookies. But that was to complement my rhyme because we rapped together. We were a team. You know what I mean? He happened to come out on a record first with his. So now anytime I would say my Mikey D cereal rhyme in the parks or whatever, they thought I bit from LL Cool J. So it just made me mad. It rattled my cage. Like, come on, what?
Right. So then on I Get Rough, you said, forget the cookies, eat Mikey D's cereal.
Yes.
And then you also sent some shots on Busta Rhyme Mike and said, I can live without my radio. Cool J, take a hike. The only thing I can't live without is my mic.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, but he was taking jabs too, man. Don't let people fool you. He was taking jabs too, but L is strategic too, man. You know, by him not mentioning my name, that was cool. That was cool because he made the bullet fit anybody that fit the shoes, you know. But I knew who he was talking about in some of those, man. It gets no rougher.
Though? Huh? Right. You know what I love about this conversation though is that you can admit your part in it And you said that, you know, you came across as a hater and stuff, but it was never really that serious of an issue. It was like the surrounding voices, the people around that made it into something.
And the alcohol, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm out there drinking.
It makes you interpret things differently,
Absolutely,
right? It's like,
man.
Like, he said that, you know?
You're not thinking with a clear head, man, you know? And I'm like I said, it was his pride versus my ego. That's what that was. It's all love, man. Like, I'm so proud of that dude, man. He don't have to give me a dime. I never asked him for a dime. But to know that I was a part of inspiring who he is, man, makes me feel good. As long as he keeps winning, I keep winning, man. And it's all love, man.
It is amazing to see how far he's come, though, huh?
But like I said, he knew when he was young, he had where he is today is where he always wanted to be. So he worked his ass off to get there. You know me, I don't have that type of discipline, and I really didn't want to be that successful. I just wanted to be heard in the street. And the only reason I keep rapping is because it's very good therapy, man. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I absolutely love it, man.
So at one point you tweeted him and you apologized and he said, apology accepted, right?
Oh, wow. You took it back. Yes, absolutely. I did that.
So when was the last time you guys actually spoke? Was that the time?
Actually spoke? What do you mean? I speak to you. We speak.
Yeah, what was the last conversation that you had with him?
It's like just recently, man. Right before.
Oh, word?
I talk to L all the time. Yeah.
Oh, damn, man.
He'll FaceTime me. I'll be at work and he'll FaceTime me, man. I let my manager see him. Look, who's on the phone? Who you think you're talking to? Yeah, we talk, man. See, because what it is L doesn't.
Did he be licking his lips too? Okay.
Nah, he never did that. He never did that. Not like that, but he never. But L knows with me, he has a friend that will check on his family, his well-being. You know, how's your health, man? Everything.
No
good.
Secret intentions, no hidden agenda.
We hardly talk about music, bro. We talk like, we got families. We're grown. We talk like, remember that time? You know what I mean? Like,
real conversation.
This is real. That's my brother. You know?
That's dope, man. That's amazing. And shout out to LL Cool J, man.
Shout out to LL, man, and everything he continues to do, man. This guy just don't stop. I'm glad I didn't sign with Def Jam, and they would have, because we sounded alike, they would have put me on the shelf until LL cooled off. God damn it, I'd be in a wheelchair by the time he cooled off.
It would have been crazy to see you guys as a group, though. I'm not gonna lie.
It would have been. It would have been real dope. And like even when we was rocking together, LL never had to battle. He never had to lift a finger to battle because I was tearing everybody up before they could even make it that way. That was my thing, man.
You know what is it? We've seen what he's done on the music side, but I feel like on the acting side, he doesn't get a lot of credit that he deserves for the acting. You know what I mean? Like people don't bring him up as much.
Yeah.
And he's like really done a lot from the TV show In the House to like all these different roles that he
NCIS, did. Man.
You know? But man, like the role that really got me with L was In Too Deep. The way that he played that villain.
But why he had to be?
Oh my God.
Why?
Reed, you a cop? You a cop?
Yo, why his name had to be? Why he had to call himself God, though, man?
I know. He's like, "What's my name?" And he making the girl with the gun. I was like, "Yo, that pool stick scene, though." I was
that
like,
was it.
"LL, come on, bro."
That was it.
That was a little too much.
I said, I ain't watching this one. I'm going back to Deep Blue Sea, man. I ain't watching this no more. Right? You know, he really had his son and his wife in that movie too, right?
Which one?
In Too Deep. Remember, I think when the baby was getting christened or whatever, there was a baby in the church. That was really Najee. That was Najee and Simone in there.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Man, that's dope, man.
Word up. I just had to straighten some internet rumors out for him recently. You know that picture that's been... Oh, K Cutters texted me, my bad. And I got my phone on Do Not Disturb. How did he make it through? What was I getting ready to say? Damn, brain, K Cut just threw me off. Oh, the picture that's been floating around and with him and it looks like Jay-Z and him hugging.
Yeah, uh-huh.
That's not photoshopped and that's not Jay-Z. That's Cool J's cousin, Will. Will is the same dude. Will is the same dude that's in the Pink Cookies in a Plastic Bag video.
Uh-huh.
That's his biological first cousin, man. It looked like Jay-Z in that picture. So I had to straighten that out, man, because people just be on some bull crap.
Man. Nobody cares about the truth when the lie is more entertaining. You know exactly. I mean? That's how the internet works. That's how the internet works, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Talk to us about the formation of Mikey D and the LA Posse, man.
Oh, that was me and Johnny Quest, we started out together. Me and DJ Johnny Quest with the Grandmaster 3. So we've been rocking and rolling the whole time. We went through that group. We went through the Phenomenal Four, the LA Rap Masters. He was with me in the Clientele Brothers. After the Clientele Brothers, it was just Mikey D and Johnny Quest. Speaking of the Clientele Brothers, Eddie OJ and Will Seville, they're older than us. And they were actually recording demos in Paul C's bedroom before he even moved the studio into the garage of his house. They would make these demos, and the demos sounded so dope. And one day, Eddie OJ invited me and Johnny Quest to walk with them over to Rosedale. But this is years later, so the racism was out the window. So we walked to Paul C's house. When we got to his block, we heard the music coming out of the garage. We didn't know what he looked like. You know what I'm saying? We never met him. And here comes the white guy, this cool-looking white dude comes out of that garage with this hip-hop playing. Me and Quest was bugging like, yo, it's a white dude. Anyway, we went in there. Eddie OJ and them introduced us to Paul, and, we was kicking it. And after that day, Paul started calling us to come over, me and Quest to come through. So we would go over there. So we started making demos in the garage. And at the same time, that was around the time they was filming Crush Groove. And I met DJ Dr. Shock there. And he saw me out in the front battling people and stuff like that and said he knew a manager and had the manager get with me. The manager's name was Arthur Armstrong. Arthur Armstrong owned a hip-hop club in the Bronx, the Ecstasy Garage. Anyway, Armstrong started managing us, and Paul was down with the group now. It was Mikey D, Paul C, and Johnny Quest, because we was masters of what we did. Paul on the tracks, me on that mic, Johnny Quest on the cut. The reason that they wanted to use my name in the front was because my name was already buzzing in the street. I had the street credibility. Now, originally, we were Boom Bash. That's just the name of the clique from Lawton, Boom Bash. But because of, things that were going on in the street, Arthur Armstrong didn't think it'd be wise to the label. He thought that it would scare the label away. He maybe I should come up with a different name, blah, blah. And he said, your name has to be in front of it, boom, boom. So we wanted to keep our posse with us, and me and Johnny is from Lawton. When people from Queens refer to Lawton, they refer to Lawton as L.A. And back in those days, your crew was your posse. So we were like L.A. Posse. So that means there's still Boom Bash. Our crew is still with us. You feel me? So Paul C, he adopted it too. Even though he was from Rosedale, he was from Lawton because we were from Lawton. And plus, Rosedale and Lawton are right next door to each other. So that's how that went down. Mikey D and the LA Posse. That's how that came about.
Right. So then Paul ends up getting a job at 1212 Studio in Jamaica, Queens, right? And he would sneak you guys in at night to record?
Yeah, because now we no longer had to go to his garage. He was like, yo, come up to Archer. That was a $1 van ride away. Boom. 2:00 in the morning, we up there knocking these tracks out because people don't know. Paul wasn't only a producer, he was a very dope engineer. Right. That's why people were booking him. You know what I mean? They didn't even know that he produced. He was a dope engineer, man. He could put things together and make it sound so dope. So, he was sneaking us up in the studio and we was recording. We did Coming in the House, I Get Rough, all that stuff right up in that studio on some free time.
He recorded you making a couple of beatboxing sounds, and when he loaded it into the SP12 sampler, he made it seem like you could really beatbox on Busta Rhyme mic, right?
Busta Rhyme mic. Yep, he did that. Yeah. He did all of that, played the bam, 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 the music and all of that on the SP12. He was a beast with it. He said, yo, Mike, go like this. I did that. He was like, now, clack your thing. I was doing all of that corny stuff. And then he triggered it into the buttons on the damn SP12 and Busta Rhyme mic. That's what you came with. Word.
What was your reaction when you heard it after he did it?
I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, you crazy. This is dope. And I'm like, man, nobody ever did this before. Oh, this is fire. Yeah, it was crazy.
You know, Complex said that he was one of the most important figures in the development of sampling.
I wouldn't put it past him. I don't doubt it one bit. This guy was incredible, and his ear was just amazing.
You described Studio 1212 as a college dorm where everyone was hanging out in each other's sessions and partying. Like Metallica was even up there, right?
Metallica was up there, yeah. And I think that might have been where Run DMC got that Walk This Way type of stuff from. Because we was all doing that type of stuff with the rock bands. You had rock bands and hip hoppers all in the same building. We'll meet in the hallway, drink beer, smoke weed, because every floor of the music building had rehearsal rooms.
6 floors.
Yeah, studios, the music building, man. It was lit in there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mike, you was knocking out, you was blowing out some backs in that studio, huh? You got some stories.
No, I wasn't. Matter of fact, no, I kind of was, and no, I wasn't. I wasn't. I used to. Nah. I used to bring my daughter there when she was young. I remember bringing her. She was 3 years old rapping, and Jam Master Jay signed a $10 bill for her. Like, yo, she's ill. He had his studio up in there too. But yeah, a lot of stuff went on up in there, bro. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
It was fun.
When you met Posse, you were expecting to meet a brother, right? But you were shocked that he was white.
I was just shocked he was white. I didn't know if he would be a brother or if he'd be Spanish or somebody, because when I met Paul, you know, it wasn't that many white people producing in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
Well, they were engineers, a lot of them, though, right? Like they were like more of like the recording the songs and stuff. Like
yeah, exactly. But for him to have just this soul and this flavor, man, like God damn, he's dope. Word.
Did that change like your stereotypes of what you thought of white people?
Well, in music, yes, absolutely. Yes. But you know, white people are white people. I don't look at the color, man. I look at the personality. Mm-hmm. Word. So, but he definitely, I wasn't ready for that. Like, wow, this is crazy. Word. And he could play a lot of instruments too.
Right. Real musician.
Yeah, definitely. Well-rounded musician, yeah.
Because you've worked with like even like other people like R.A. the Rugged Man over the years and stuff like that. So I feel like your relationship with him probably fostered a lot more positivity of how you witness white people in the culture.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And even my Day of Destruction album was produced by Legalized from Russia. And he was influenced to start rapping because of Paul C's coming in the house. Mines and Paul C's coming in the house. And when he produced a lot of the tracks on that Day of Destruction album, he reminded me so much of Paul that I just couldn't let that opportunity go by. Word up. So, you know.
Are you a fan of someone like Eminem?
I love him, man. That's my dude, man. Lyrically, like he's one of the top dogs, man. I don't care about the color, man. The color doesn't mean anything. His skill set is way up here when it comes to that, man. You know what I mean? Right. And it's a funny thing. Before I even knew who Eminem was, I knew Bizarre. Bizarre.
I saw you interviewed him for your channel.
He hung out with me when he was young, before he started really getting busy. You know what I'm saying? And I wish I would have met Eminem back then, man. Word.
Yeah, that would have been crazy, man. That would have been dope to hear you guys on a track together. And M is such a student of hip hop that I know he knows who you are. You know, because like he has no problem giving it up to like the people that come before.
Yeah,
you know, lay the groundwork and everything. Because like you look at like even like his Hall of Fame speech, he naming off 50 rappers and stuff, like doing stuff that he don't have to do. You know, so it's like you got to respect when somebody do something like that, man.
That's facts. Facts. That's facts, man. Salute Eminem, man. Word.
You know, back in 85, you battled Kool G Rap. Right? You went to his house?
85.
Well, I've heard you say two different things. You said 82, 83, and then another interview you said
No,
85,
it wasn't.
So...
It couldn't have been 82 or 83. Wait a minute. But he wasn't on records yet. And I don't think Cool J was out yet either, but we was laughing. We battled. It was definitely in the early 80s, but none of us had records out at the time. Nah, LL Cool J came out in 84, so it had to be 83. It could have been 82, 83, like I said. Word.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, because he wasn't out yet. And I remember, like, I used to like to travel around and battle people. Like, anywhere we would go, if I saw a cypher, I would jump in the cypher. You know, just to start conversation pieces, I would just call people out. You know, who around here rhymes or whatever. So this day we was in Corona. We was with one of my boys, me, Johnny Quest, one of my boys. I'm gonna leave his name out of it. So we were supposed to see my boys' step pops or whatever in Corona, and that's the reason we was out there. So we went to a store. I bought some beer, you know what I mean? I bought my beer, came out, and I'm asking everybody, yo, who around here rhyme? I battle anybody around here that rhyme, talking my trash or whatever. So these two dudes was like, yo, yeah, we got somebody for you. I'm like, whatever, man, we get shit. Where you at? Where you at? He said, come on, take this walk. So we walked with him, and then we get to G-Rap's crib, word. I think it might have been his mom's crib or something like that, because I think he came out the side door, and we went into the front of the house. So me and him started comparing notes. We started sparring. He went, I went. He went, I went. And I remember the first thing that threw me off was he said his name was Kool G. He never said Kool G Rap. He just said his name was Kool G. And me and Quest was laughing. We said Kool G, Kool J. You know what I mean? Because we thinking about our boy. You know what I mean? And then, so we went back and forth. I thought it was a nice, fair one. You know what I mean? And he was dope. Kool G Rap was dope since back then. He always says I got the edge on him. I think it was a draw. But one of his boys punched. Yeah, I think it was a draw. If you look at the interview in Uncut, he says Mikey D got the edge on me, and he said that's the reason I was able to sharpen my pen. He said he's not even mad to say that. He said that I was nice then and I'm nice now. You know, me, I think it was like a draw because he was dope.
So he was still really nice back then.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, ever since I met G-Rap, he was dope. What?
Was that the only time that you guys ever battled, or was there another time?
Yeah, that was the only time, because we wound up getting cool through the years. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Butcher is my man. You know what I feel me? You know what I mean? Dr. Butcher, I remember him when he was Lil Drew from the Extravagant Three. Did you know Cool J was in a group called the Extravagant Three?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Jazzy Drew is Dr. Butcher. Yeah. And he was with my man, Royal Rich. I'm the one that introduced Royal Rich and Jazzy Drew. I wanted them to battle because they was both shorties, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm going to get these dudes to battle each other. They wound up taking a liking to each other and they got down. Cool J, you know, he started coming around. I introduced Cool J to Royal Rich's big brother, Ray Romaine, because I used to record, that's Professor KB. I used to record down there. So Cool J started hanging out with Jazzy Drew and them, and they became the Extravagant Three. But yeah, me and G-Rap, we became real tight, man. Word, we good.
Did you know that he was gonna get to the level that he eventually got to?
Nah, we never looked. I never looked at it like that. I never looked past just being dope at the time. I never looked into the future of where it could take somebody or what they would do next, you know. That's what, you know what I'm saying? I never had them type of expectations for anybody.
Got you. All right, so 1988, you won the New Music Seminar Battle for World Supremacy.
Yeah.
And for this year, King Son, MC Serch were both in it.
Yeah.
So you had to battle both of them?
Nah, I didn't battle Serch. I think Serch got tossed out of there before I got to him, because I know he has some difficulties with Mr. Magic. God rest his soul. Mr. Magic was throwing water when Serch was rhyming and all of that. I think something broke out. I don't think Serch lost the battle. I think he got disqualified for something or whatever. But I did battle King Son. That's my big bro. I battled him.
Do you know why they had problems though?
Yeah, because Mr. Magic kept on throwing water on him.
But why did he do that, though?
I don't know. I think he was just being a jerk at the time,
okay,
man.
Got you.
I think he was being a jerk. I mean, no offense, but why would you throw water on somebody that's rapping?
Mm-hmm. So then you end up battling King Son. Tell us about the battle with King Son.
King Son was just doing King Son. He did what he did. I did what I did. It wasn't, these battles, there was no animosity. So I really wasn't at nobody's neck. I was basically just comparing notes. You know what I mean? And I had so many rhymes, man. It was just crazy. I could freestyle. I could incorporate my rhymes and, you know, freestyles into the rhyme. I could do all that. You know what I mean? But King Son, he was just dope. He wasn't going too crazy and none of that.
So the rhymes, they were like more generic, like just like it wasn't like directed. Like I'm talking about your shoes now. I'm looking at you and I'm like breaking you apart like that, or how was it?
Well, some people was doing that, and the people that did that, that's how I gave it to them. The people that just said regular raps, I said regular raps, but my regular raps was aggressive too. So you could take, you know, like my regular raps was like, if the shoe fits, wear it. Because I'm 88, I'm Mikey Destruction at the time, you know what I mean? So I had to be ill lyrically, you know? But it was spontaneous though, because remember, we didn't have months to prepare. It was on site. So
and then also when it's really freestyle, it was the original definition of rhyming off the top of your head, not like where people talk about it now, where it's like it's just a written that you had or something like that, right?
No, see, with me, I always got confused with that. With me, when I was coming up, a freestyle was a rhyme that could be written that nobody's ever heard before. That was a freestyle. Okay. Like if you had records out and you went to a club and you spit some stuff that nobody ever heard, you freestyle. Off of the top of the head was off of the top of the head. And then people switched it around and said, it's freestyling, is this and that. When I was coming up, we thought freestyling was rhymes that you had in the pocket that nobody knew about. You know what I'm saying? Fresh rhymes. And we kept fresh rhymes. But I could also off of the top of the head too at that time. And I'm pretty corny at it now because I don't drink. So I'm more responsible of what I'm saying.
Yo, it's funny because like I watched so many of your interviews, and the mention of 40s and how it helped you write rhymes is like mentioned so much.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you. And I don't miss it. I'm actually a lot better. My pen game is a lot better without it.
Mm-hmm.
But back then, you couldn't tell me nothing, boy. And I would freestyle drunk, and so I didn't care what came out of my mouth. You know what I mean? So, but I'm more knowledgeable of what I'm writing and saying that.
Do you remember any of the rhymes that you said to Son?
No.
No.
I don't remember. All I remember is part of a rhyme that I said to Melle. That's it. I don't remember.
Okay, yeah. So let's get to the Melle part, right? The person that won the previous year was Melle. So the story goes that he jumped on stage and challenged you to throw your belt down, and you were a little hesitant because you had just won. You know, you weren't sure if you wanted to do that, but you throw down your belt too. You accept the challenge, and you ate him up. Now, they say Grandmaster Caz jumped on stage, grabbed both belts, and declared Melle the winner and walked off.
That sounds about correct. It sounds very accurate. You know what I mean? I was very disappointed and hurt. You know, damn, Caz, my damn idol, man, he did this to me. And I'm like, yeah, it was crazy, man, because we weren't even supposed to battle. It was supposed to be a demonstration with this year's champion rapping with last year's champion. Melle came in there, you know, all pissed off because they wouldn't let him defend his belt, and they gave me a new belt without him having to defend his belt. So he told me that I wasn't a real champion. If I was a real champion, we'll battle for the belts and winner take both. I wasn't with that because it just sounded weird to me. You know what I'm saying? It just sounded weird. Like, man, I just won this belt. I'm proud. I'm taking it home so my neighborhood could be proud. You feel me? And he just kept on like trying to intimidate me. You know what I mean?
He was applying that pressure.
Yeah. And so the crowd is like, yo, Mike, that's him on that, blah, blah. So, you know, that good old peer pressure again made me slam my damn belt down on top of his and let's go. Let's get to it. You know what I mean? So he says a rhyme. It was all right.
You remember what he said?
I know what triggered me. He said a rhyme. He said something fly south. That's why my cum. No, he said something in the death. That's why my cum's all over your girl's breath.
Oh.
That's the only thing that I remembered, and that triggered me. Because I would have took it easy on the legend because he's the legend. You know, I would have compared notes, but he got disrespectful. And the first rhyme that he spit was educational. And I didn't come to this battle to preach or to teach. I came to crush and destroy. And I am not going to pull out a pen and a pad in a gunfight, man. No. So he got really educational with his rhyme, put it that way. Nobody wanted to hear that. It was a dope rhyme, but just not for a battle. Like, this is a battle, man. You're not teaching me. What are you trying to teach? You know what I mean?
Right.
I know the first round, I don't remember. I know that second round was mean that I did to him.
Wait. What? He was doing push-ups during the time that you were rapping, right?
That's when I destroyed him.
That was the second round because you were rapping to like his like rhythm of his push-ups, right? Basically.
Yeah, because he thought he got me with that rhyme that he spit. He thought he got me. So he thought it was gonna be an easy walk in the park and he could do push-ups in the park. Oh no, buddy, you are sadly mistaken. Not with me. So yeah, I said something. Come on, Melle. Oh, come on, Melle. Oh my God. And I said, oh, see, you messing me up. You got me on the spot. Don't mean to waste your time, but oh my God. Pardon me, old boy, don't even turn your back. For that shit you just said, I got a counterattack. Call me scared or unprepared or anything that you can. It could be you and your crew against this one, man. I ain't running. So don't interrupt. I'm just fulfilling my dream, shutting your ass up. You try to break on me. Thought I was your friend. You broke on me. Now you taste your own medicine. But I should give you credit where this credit is due. Fuck that. I'll give you credit when this rhyme is through. People think that you're the best and no one can be better. But I'm known to be a title upsetter. One rhyme will dust you off. Or maybe two, but any way that you put it, your whack ass is through. You pop shit like you're great. Come to parties late. When you finally arrive, you make the people wait. But you ain't shit. Melle be bragging about. I bet this girl right here could take your dumb ass out. When it comes down to rapping, you might be okay, but you met me. So get on your knees and pray that I don't take your title with one rhyme recital. The rap that I possess could be that vital. Don't mean to put you down lower than the ground, but you're always talking about you're the greatest around. That weak rap bit is illegit. Melle, you should quit that weak bullshit. You're the title defender, and I'm the contender. I'll let you know right now, your career will end at the end of this jam. That's right, my man. Anything that I do, you wish you can. I can make the largest wall into a little fence. I can make your ugly ass look like a prince. Now, if I could do that, you know that I got pulled, because making you look good is impossible. With a face like yours, you could scare away the devil. In a beauty contest, you're on Medusa's level. Believe it, because I know what I'm talking about. You look worse than an ass with shit coming out. You poor motherfucker rappers, your only job on Thanksgiving, all you ate was corn on the cob, no Christmas presents when Christmas time came around. Even robbed Santa Claus when he came to your town. Don't let me stop snapping on you. You're a waste of my time. Keep your big mouth shut or get part 2 of this rhyme. Lights out. Game over.
Wait. This was off the top of your head, or you had this written?
It was written. It was some off the top. To finesse him being in it. So it was a combination.
You didn't know you were going to battle him. So
yes, it was a deadly combination.
Got you. Okay. So what was his facial reaction when you're saying this? Because some of the stuff is like hard hits.
I don't think he understood it. I think he was too mad trying to get up out of there with both of the belts. Because remember, they took the belts while I was rhyming.
Right. So after he walks off with both belts, what is your immediate reaction? Like, what are you feeling and thinking?
Oh, I'm tight, man. But what am I going to do? I'm $130. You know what I mean? This is Melle. I'm only there with me and Johnny Quest.
Diesel, right? He caught Diesel.
It was Davey versus Goliath, for real, B. So, you know, he pushing people out the way to get out of there. But a lot of people, Daddy-O went crazy. And this is before we really got cool, but he went crazy. He was ready to turn up. And Cats from Brooklyn was ready to turn up on my behalf. Just Ice was ready to turn up on my behalf. But my thing is, don't do it, because this is going to reflect on whatever it is that I'm trying to do. So if anything happens to him because of this, it's going to reflect on me. And I don't need that. You know what I mean? So we let bygones.
Didn't Flash come up to you and apologize for the unsportsmanlike conduct?
He apologized to me for that. Yeah, we ran into each other. It was in the elevator or something like that. But he apologized to me. Lumumba, remember him, Professor X, he wanted me to come to his crib. We talked about it, and, you know, people were really upset over that. So Tom Silverman, who ran the New Music Seminar, wound up creating a new belt for me. So I had my belt.
That was better.
Well, now that I look at it, it looks about the same as the one from the year before that Kane had in the Ain't No Half Stepping video. It looks about the same. But yeah, man, you know, it is what it is. But that was a big feat right there, a victorious win.
So, because in a previous interview, you said you forgive him, but you don't agree with what he did. And it was a coward move, and you can't respect that. But you can respect Melle as an artist, right? For his achievements.
Yeah. But what went down, the way that happened, I think that was super corny, man. That's sore loser. Yeah. That's a sore loser, man. I'm supposed to have both of these belts, man. Where's my belt, Melle?
So what happened to the one that you had? You ended up losing it, right?
That got destroyed. It got destroyed because you keep the belts. It got destroyed in Hurricane Andrew.
Oh man, dang, that's
because I moved out to Florida in like 89 actually after Posse, and I was there from 91 till Hurricane Andrew came through. It was 91, 92, and that was in the house. Everything got destroyed with Hurricane Andrew. That was the big bad wolf right there. I never went back to Miami after that, bro. Never went back since then.
Did you ever have a convo with Melle about this situation
afterwards? Years and years and years and years and years afterward. We good now. We good. Right. We good.
But what was the conversation like though?
Nah, it wasn't. I don't even think. I know he knows who I am and what happened, but I don't even think he acknowledges it. That's so crazy because I don't bring it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel weird. Like, you know what I mean? Like, remember that battle? Especially when you're trying to squash something, you don't be like, remember that fight we had? You don't do that. So when we talk, it's like we just talking. He's like, yo, what up, Mike? Yo, what you doing? Blah, blah. I'm like, yo, Mel, what up, baby? We good? Everything all right? Yeah, yo, man, we going over here. All right, cool. One of those, but we never really.
So you ain't tell him, yo, you want round 3?
Nah, yo, I actually tried to reach out to him and his people to just do a record together, man. Let's just do a joint.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be dope.
Let's just do it for the culture, you know. That's that. Kaz, we talk about it. Kaz is a funny guy. That's my big brother too, man.
He's just as liable for that, though. He was a part of that, though.
Yeah, but Kaz told me a story after. You know what I'm saying? So he got it. He understood.
Can you tell the story or no? You can't tell the story.
I don't want to do that to Kaz. That's my dude, no problem. And I love him, man. Out of respect, I ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, I understand. No problem. Yeah, man. But that's great though that you at least got to have that conversation with Kaz and kind of feel like some kind of resolution to that.
Yeah. Kaz. No, he know the vibes. It's all gravy.
Have you battled any other famous people like that you remember that you can recall?
Man, there's so many people that I battled that I can't really, like famous people. What's going to happen is after this interview, I'm going to remember like, oh shit, I remember I battled him. Oh, I remember I battled him. Right. Oh yeah, I remember battling him. So I'm going to wreck my brain trying to remember right now.
I forgot who it was that I interviewed, but they were saying though, like back in the day when you battled, it's like more like, I think it was RJ Payne that said it. RJ Payne was saying like, you forget like who you beat. A lot of times it's usually the loser that says, man, so-and-so beat me and stuff like that. They're the ones that recall it more. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, had more of an impact to them. You know? So it's hard to keep track of everything, you know, especially we're talking like 30 years, you know, like 40, like almost. Yeah. So that's a long time, man. But so during this time, you're doing all this rapping and everything like that. But you also spoke about before you were in the street too. Like, what were you doing in the streets at that time?
Rapping.
No, I mean, like you're talking about like you was getting into like some trouble in the streets too, though, right?
Nah, I was just in the street as a street battle rapper, a street rapper. Like, I was around all of the action, but I never got my hands dirty.
Oh, got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was outside. Like when I was, come on, Southside, we outside. That's where that comes from, Southside. So in those days, and when hip hop discovered me, that's when I broke out of my shell of shyness and all that. I was outside. I might have been a sheep raised by wolves. You know what I mean? I was like that. Like I could go anywhere. And nobody was doing nothing to me because they had love for me because of the way that I rap. And I represented, You feel me? So I was around all of the action, but I never got my hands dirty. You know?
I feel like that's a blessing.
And it's absolutely a blessing. Absolutely a blessing. And plus, it's like the person that I am, the type of person that I am, real sociable. I'm a people person. I don't go out looking for trouble. I just want to have a whole bunch of fun, and I want to gain my respect through the hip-hop culture. And just through the hip-hop culture, I wound up meeting some real street people that took an actual liking to me. Because at the end of the day, I'm still a real person too. Like, you know what I mean? Just because you humble, that don't mean you a punk or none of that. You could be yourself.
Don't mean you don't get busy.
Yeah, you don't have to act tough and all of that.
Right.
It's so crazy with me. I just happen to be so blessed. I never had to get busy. That my boys would never give me a chance to get busy. They was already on them.
Right.
So, you know.
So Posse, he ends up getting murdered in his sleep in his home, right?
Yes.
At the time of his murder, he was on the cusp of being recognized as, man, one of the greats. Like, he had just worked with Biz Markie on Just a Friend. He did Queen Latifah's Ladies First. He was working with Eric B. and Rakim. Can you take us back, man, to that time, you know, when you, that night, and like your reaction when you found out?
Yeah, I was in shock because what's messed up about it is I was a little upset with Paul when this happened, man. I was a little upset with him because we were just wrapping up the album, and I know he hit. Now, mind you, we was recording for free, at least I thought, but he hit Sleeping Bag with a $18,000 bill or something like that, saying, you know what I mean? All I remember was Will Safala saying that we owed this money. We had to make this money back because this is what Paul C charged. And I was mad at him. I was mad at him because you never told me that we was paying for this time. Here we are thinking that, you know, we're going to get some money, blah, blah, blah. And now you know what I mean? I was mad at him. And then I heard what happened to him. And I really felt messed up. I felt really, really messed up. He had a closed casket and all of that. I was there, you know, but it just hurt real bad. It hurt real bad. And then at the same time, I was going through it with Sleeping Bag because the other LA posse from California, you know, they just got with Def Jam in Columbia. And when we did our LA posse, we never did the copyrights and the trademark for the name and all of that. So now these dudes want to sue us, and Sleeping Bag don't want to have our back. And they knew we were first, but they didn't have the financial power to fight the lawyers of Columbia or Def Jam. So they wanted me to drop the name. And at the same time, you hit us with this bill. And then, you know, my daughter is born.
It was a lot at one time.
My daughter is born and gangster rap is coming out, man. I just went into a dark space. That's why I bounced to Miami, man.
So what was your reaction when you got the news though? Like immediately, you must have been shocked or.
I was just in shock. That's it. Just in shock and hurt for being mad at him.
Because he wasn't in that kind of life at all or anything, right?
No, not Paul. Nah, Paul was cool as a fan. Never had no enemies or nothing. So I don't know who or why they would want to do that to Paul, man. I couldn't believe it because he's just not that type of person.
Did they steal anything from his house or anything like that?
They killed him and left him there, man. They didn't take anything.
Because he had family members in the house too, right?
His wife, his mom's is upstairs.
That's
you know
crazy,
what I'm saying?
Man.
That he had like one of those, to get into his bedroom, he had one of those, like it's not a sewer thing, but like what the stores have, the grocery stores, if you want to go into the basement from the outside, they got these things that you live. Yeah, he had one of those. So for some reason it was left open. So I don't know what the hell that was all about, man. Yeah, that was a hard pill to swallow, man.
Man, so his death appeared on New York's Most Wanted and Crime Stoppers. And at one time, they thought it was Derek Little Shine Blair that did it, but then there was a lack of evidence. After his death, like you said, you took some years off. You went down to Florida, right? Talk to us about the raw emotions and the mentality that you had at that time of taking a break.
Man, listen, it was just so much going on. I just wanted to drink and have fun. That's it. I needed to get away and all of that. My partner, Terry Sidney, my best friend, Terry came with me down there. We went down there with my man, Mario Pun, somebody that we grew up with. They had the house down there that they let us get that house, and we went down there. We drove down there in a Camaro. The Camaro didn't have no goddamn AC. We left in the wintertime, you know what I mean? And we just left with us, our bag of clothes, Terry in the front seat, Mario driving, me in the back seat with a case of 40 ounces of Old English. Took us about 20 hours to get to Miami the way Mario was driving, burning up, god dang it. But when we got out there, that's all I wanted to do was just drink and just have fun. I wasn't thinking about music or nothing. But then I kind of snapped out of it. And about a month into our stay, I kind of snapped out of that and started rapping again under the alias Cordless Mike. You know what I mean? So let's try something new, because this Miami bass music is a little different. You know, it reminds me of some Soul Sonic Force type. We could knock this out easily, bro. You know, because they wasn't into the New York type of hip hop.
Going for a different vibe at the time.
Yeah, they wasn't into it. I didn't want to, but I had to, get in where I fit in. So I started a crew called Mask Confusion. We even wore masks. Terry turned his name into CeeLo. Actually, Terry is Loverboy TC from my early days. You know what I mean? And so yeah, he was CeeLo and Cordless Mike, and we had masks on every time we rocked. And then we had a lawyer. His name was Jonathan Black, and he wanted to hear some more of our music, and he wound up starting a label because of our music. And so instead of Mass Confusion, we called ourselves No Strings Attached, and we did a record down there called Put Your Body in Motion, and down there in Miami, man. It was all right. People didn't know it was me until they saw the video. Like, what the hell is Mikey D? What? That's Mikey D. He got on a polka dot shirt, curly afro. What happened to the waves? Yeah, but it was fun. It was something nice. You feel me? Right. And then, but that's where my head was at, man. And then, like I said, Hurricane Andrew, when that thing was coming, man, we left the day before it hit, and everything that we owned was destroyed, man. Like, it was crazy because we lived right there in Broward County, Dade County, where it did mass confusion. I mean, mass damage.
Man, that's it's crazy when you really think about that. After all these years, they still haven't solved that case, though.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, man. It's just crazy. There was so many rumors being spread, man. I didn't even want to talk about it after a while because people just was throwing their own stuff in there and saying this and saying that about the guy. And I'm like, man, I knew this brother, man. He was never that. Are you telling me something I don't know? What don't I know? Nah, I don't believe that. Like, nah, I'm not, and it just rekindles those feelings, man. Like, come on, man. Let him rest.
Right. And by coincidence, we're doing this interview on his birthday. So happy birthday to him.
Happy birthday, Paul Word, September 20th.
And rest in peace, man. Tragic, bro. Tragic.
Word up.
So in 1993, you joined Main Source.
Yep.
Large Professor had just left the group. You didn't know. You thought that you was joining the group with him in it, and then you realized that he's not in it.
I didn't even know the group that I was joining at first. Ooh, excuse me. Because you got to remember, I was hanging out at a place called Hush Production in Manhattan with my man, Mike Beasley. Mike Beasley, his cousins, Bo and Jim Higgins, Bo Huggins, was married to Melle. They had this music office in Manhattan. and they had a thing called Hush Production. So I used to hang out with them over there. One day we was down there, somebody was tapping on the grand piano, and I was rhyming. I was just, busting some freestyles. And Jeff Red, the singer, he came through. Jeff Red was like, "Oh, homie's pretty nice, man. What you doing?" So Mike Beasley was like, "Yo, I'm managing them right now, whatever. So Jeff Red said, "Yo, I got a group that needs a rapper right now. They're already established." He said, "I'm not going to tell you who they are. I'm just going to give you this number, and here's the address, and I want you to go over there and meet up with them." So the next day, me and Mike Beasley, we called that number. They gave us the address. We went over there in Flushing. Lady named Tandy Weems. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's late. I'm bugging. And I'm old. Lady named Tandy Weems opened the door and brought us inside. And there was Sir Scratch. I knew he looked familiar. I still couldn't put two and two together. But he asked me, blah, blah, we talked, and he asked me to bust a rhyme or whatever. I said a rhyme, and he was open. He was like, "Oh, damn." He said, "Let me get my brother on the line. He's in Canada right now, but he'll be up here, blah, blah, blah." So I'm talking to him, and then he said, "K-Cut." And it's funny, K-Cut texted me a little while ago. But he said, "K-Cut." So K-Cut, I'm like, wait a minute, K-Cut, Scratch. Now I get it. It's Main Source. You feel me? So I didn't know that Large Professor left the group. I didn't know what happened or none of that. I just thought, okay, these is the Main Source dudes. All right. Bet. I saw live at the barbecue and looking at the front door and all of that. I'm like, bet, this is dope. I could bring some of that Mikey D flavor because I was never into making hit records or singles like that. You know what I mean? I never looked for a hit. I just went in. I just rhymed, like, you know what I mean? Not looking for a hit. But I could bring that street edge to this crew. Still thinking that Large Professor was down, but come to find out he was gone, and I was filling that slot, like not as a replacement, but I didn't look at it as a replacement. But today I say F that. It's Main Source 2.0. I'm taking the reins. It's mine now. I don't care if Large Professor ain't down no more. I'm taking it. Love Paul like a brother, but it's mine. I'm claiming it. I ain't nobody's replacement. So, but at that time, yeah, I didn't know he left. And so they had obligations to do the second album before they could leave Wild Pitch. So now I'm in the booth. You feel me? And they took me down to Canada for a while. We started working on the music out there to get out of New York and to feel each other out and stuff like that. We did like 6 joints down there.
Why Canada though? Why Canada?
Because that's where they were living at the time. They were born in Canada, raised in Queens, and moved back to Canada as adults. You know what I'm saying? So they had homes in Toronto. So I went out there, you know what I mean? And that's where we caught our vibe. But, they wouldn't allow me to party or nothing. They wouldn't let me drink.
Well, I heard also that it didn't match your vibe in Canada, what you guys recorded, right?
Yeah, it was just too polite and too nice, man. Like
too polite and too nice.
And really cold, man. It was really cold, really nice. Like people actually said good morning and how you doing? And
you was missing that New York vibe, huh? Like
yeah. I couldn't get into beast mode down there. And it was heard through the music, because the music I was doing, I was sounding too happy. You know what I mean? I was sounding like I'm just content, not hungry anymore. A tamed lion. You know what I mean?
Positive
That's what
vibes.
It was because it was so nice. Like, this is cool, man. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I wasn't, there's no competition, no aggression, no whatsoever. So, it reflected in the music, and Wild Pitch picked up on it. Like, he doesn't sound like progressive. He doesn't sound like, blah, blah, blah. So they sent us back. We went back to New York and was recording in, I think it was Platinum Island or something like that, studios. And that's when the energy came back. We staying in Brooklyn, and, I'm around my people, and, Yo, it was a different vibe, and it definitely was heard through the music again. You know what I mean?
They wanted you to bring that edge to the group, right?
I think that's one of the reasons why they put me down, because I definitely had the street credibility at the time and that street edge. Like me and Large Professor, we're two different calibers. I'm very aggressive, and he's scientific with it. That's why he's a Large Professor. You know what I'm saying? I'm aggressive and beast mode. I like to pop, you know?
So the album, wasn't it supposed to come out in 94? They said it was like bootlegged, or like people weren't even sure if it hit the store, or like what happened exactly.
It was supposed to come out in 94. That was when the release date was set for. But then the incident happened up at Wild Pitch where they let us off of the label, and then they held the album back, and then they wound up releasing it later through bootleg, like in Japan or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it just lost its value, man. It came out and it didn't do anything, man. I mean, they promoted What You Need pretty well. That was dope. The first single did well. The album was really dope, man. And they lost it, got lost in the sauce.
Didn't it come out like in 99 or something like that?
I mean, something like that, but the group was already dismantled. Nobody was checking for us.
That's crazy, man. So Main Source was you and brothers K Cut and Sir Scratch, right? The manager, obviously their mom. Now, there were some issues over publishing because Large Professor left over that, is what he said, that she was looking out more for them. You told K Cut that you just want your writer's royalties, and he helped you introduce you to publishing.
He introduced me to publishing. Absolutely. Right. Yes.
And when you told the mom, Miss McKenzie, your publishing name, she got mad about that.
At the time she was upset that K Cut said that or something. I don't know if she wanted me to get down with their publishing, but I wanted to start my own publishing.
So
that was another reason why I was upset with Paul C back then too, because Paul C knew about publishing and he never informed us. So, you know, that's whatever, man. That's water under the bridge. But yeah, that's what happened. K-Cut definitely introduced me to publishing.
So there was a situation when you first joined Main Source, they wanted you to diss Large Professor, but your response was, I don't have beef with him. Y'all do. Y'all want to diss him, go ahead. But you didn't want no parts of it because you didn't have a problem with him.
Nah, they never really asked me to diss them. I think that was a story that I made up to make that shit sound real crazy.
All right.
Yeah, I think that was one of them because they never asked me to diss. A lot of people wanted me to because of that situation.
But maybe for like a better story or something like that.
Yeah, it was more. Come on, man. You know, I was trolling before the internet, man. I was trolling before the internet. You got to make the story look good. Look, remember I said, yo, me and LL met to battle at the school. He went to this school. I went to this guy. I lied so much, man. And I'm sorry, but look. Only real men of integrity can admit their mistakes and right their wrongs, bro.
That's true.
And I'm here on your platform telling you, look, you got me without my glasses, man. Right. Now you can look right into my eyes, man, and see I'm telling you the truth, bro. But no, they never asked me to, but I was definitely asked to do it after a while. Not from K-Cut and Sir Scratch, but I would never do it because Large Professor is still my brother at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Ties before even Main Source.
Basically, because Paul C was his mentor. Paul C was his mentor, you know, and I might have seen him once or twice in the studio, like, who is this little guy? And then down the line, years later, finding out that it was him is like, wow. It's like a whole, you know, how the universe works. You know what I mean? Like, you was his mentor, he was your mentor, and now I'm down with the group, and that's crazy. You know what I mean?
This is like the Main Source multiverse.
Exactly, man. It's crazy, man. Crazy.
So then, like, you know, you guys end up breaking up Because of what exactly?
I don't even remember. I think I just wanted to be free. Because I was never good with groups and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think I just wanted to be by myself. I didn't want to rock out with them no more. I didn't want to play no more. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I thought I was too street. You know, I didn't want to be down no more. That's all that was.
So after that, you've said before, like, you know, you wanted to chill out. You didn't stop writing or anything like that, but you were spending time raising your daughter. You did some features here and there. And basically, like, you wanted time to get yourself right? You worked a regular job at the airport for almost 11 years. And sometimes it was frustrating when people would recognize you. Right.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening with that? But you stopped drinking and you really got your focus back, though.
Well, what happened is, while I was working at Kennedy Airport, I was still drinking a lot, man. My dad even worked at Kennedy Airport, man. Sometimes he worked for Terminal 4, I worked for Terminal 1, and we both had these jobs where we would drive the mail from the airplanes to the post office in the airport. And when we would meet there, boy, we have our bottles and stuff. We would sip on the job, me and my dad and my friends and his friends, and we do the mail and all of that, and then head on back. But then I wound up moving up to a guard. I was a guard patrolling the airport, driving around the airport, driving around the runways and all of that. And then I moved up again. They had me inside of a building. I was at Building 14's front desk, which is like anybody that works in the airport, they have to go to that building to get their ID and get fingerprinted and stuff like that. So I was at the front desk for years. And then after that, they wound up putting me into the ID office. So I was doing fingerprinting and seeing these people and making their IDs and stuff like that. So a lot of people would recognize me because I'm right there. Like, yo, man, you rap? You look like Mikey D. Yeah, that's me. You know, so that was that. I loved working, you know. And then eventually, my father had wound up getting sick, and he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. So from the time that he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him, I was with him, and the doctor, he said you got 6 months. I remember exactly what he said. We was both like, damn, what the fuck, and then so I'm still working at the airport. I'm taking my father to all of his appointments, his chemos, and taking him to all of his appointments and stuff like that. I'm drinking more now because I'm really stressed out. I'm still going to work. Then in the last month of my dad's life, I wound up taking a family leave, you know, because I had to, you know, I was caring for him and, you know, just being with him. And he was in the hospital and stuff like that. I started going up to the hospital, spending nights at the hospital and stuff like that. Finally, my father went into the hospice, and my cousin Mark was with me, and some crazy girl that I was dealing with, whatever. And when he took his last breath, he was holding my hand and he had his eyes open. He you know what I'm saying? And he took his last breath with his eyes open. And I couldn't sleep after that. So I had, what's that? What do you call it? Phobia? Whatever. Sleep deprivation, whatever. I couldn't sleep, man.
You had a fear of going to sleep.
Yeah, because all I could see was his eyes, man. And it scared me, man. So, you know, in Queens, we got the bodegas right around the corner. I would go around the corner and get a tall can of Coors Light, sit on my front steps and drink until I got tired enough to go to sleep. And then when I would go to sleep, I would have to get up in 2 hours because I had to go to work. So I'm going to work hungover. You know, alcohol's coming out my pores now. Now I'm starting to spiral a little bit. You know what I mean? And the last straw was I snapped at work on my supervisor, you know, because he was aggressive and people were scared of him, and I was hungover and I just didn't want to be bothered. I had my pops on my mind, and he said something to me, and I snapped and wanted to fight and all of that. So they wound up firing me, and So I had 6.
I'm sorry, it's not funny that you got fired, but at the same time, it's kind of crazy too. Like I can only imagine like what that scene looked like, man.
Oh, it was turmoil up in there, man. It was a real.
And you had worked there for how many years at this point?
I worked there for about, I don't know, about 10 years, man.
Wow.
It was a lot of years I put in, man. And so that happened, man. And I was on unemployment. So that's when I started getting back into my bag with the rhymes and all of that, because now I got time. And then I wound up running into some money because they owed me retro or something like that. And I wound up buying, a little studio setup for the room. Bismarck used to come over and show me stuff and give me beats and all of that. Anyway, I was still drinking heavy. And then one night, I reached out to one of my homegirls, Libby, and I asked her, yo, what's up with you? Got any friends? Just messing with her. And she said, yeah, I got a girlfriend for you, blah, blah, blah. So she introduced me to one of her friends. Now, I didn't know Libby moved upstate. She moved upstate, and she introduced me to one of her friends from up here. So I wound up coming up here to meet the girl, and we hit it off. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to be, we on just whatever. And I bounce and I go back, and then, that's that on. But I really dug her, and she was digging me. And next thing I know, I changed my whole life around because I had a choice. Either I could keep this new woman right now and live happily ever after, or I could remain the same person I am in Queens, and ain't no telling where you're going to wind up. So I wound up dropping the bottle. I stopped drinking and everything, straightened my life up, started spending more time with this woman, fell in love, in real love, wound up moving upstate with her. And I've been good ever since, man. Going on maybe 13 years now, sober.
That's amazing, bro.
And then look, when I first moved up here, I was a security guard because now my unemployment is getting ready to run out, and I can't have this woman taking care of me. I mean, I'm still getting ASCAP royalty checks, but they're not enough to sustain a lifestyle, paying rent.
Especially not today.
Yeah, so I always kept my license as security, man. Security, that was always been one of my favorite jobs, doing security, because my grandfather, he did security. He was a military man first, right? But when he retired from the military, he was doing security. And I always thought my grandfather looked so cool and sharp in his uniforms, man. And I wanted to be like that. Me and my Uncle Jerry wanted to be just like my grandfather. So we did security, man, and we always was sharp, man, with our security outfits. So when I moved up here, I was doing security for a company called Always Secure, and they had the contract at Pepsi of the Hudson Valley up here. So they put me on that site, and I was working overnights, and I got to know everybody at Pepsi, and they loved me there. And so I worked there for about 2 years as a security guard, contracted to that company. And then I wound up upgrading my security license to armed because it was so easy for me to obtain a pistol permit up here. I said, let me obtain a armed security and make some more money. So I did that and the armored truck license, right? Because I got my gun now. So before another security company called me, the armored truck company wound up calling me, and I told Always Secure, look, I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to the armored trucks, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to make me some money, man. Don't you be falling asleep, Panda. I'm not that boring.
No, I'm not, man. I'm listening, man.
So now I'm doing the armored truck for 1 year. Anyway, I bumped into one of the managers from Pepsi at one of our stops. And he said, Mikey D, man, we miss you at Pepsi, man. There's a spot that just opened within Pepsi, and we think you would be the perfect pick for the spot. You think you could swing by and talk to Mary? Mary was the HR person. I said, yeah, let's see what it's about. So one day I pulled up to Pepsi with the armored truck and all, man, my uniform, my gun, and all of that. I go in there. She tells me what the position was. I'll be head of security there, checking the trucks in. I got my own office and all of that. Benefits, and then all of that was just through the roof. It was a no-brainer. More money, and I didn't have as much of a risk. So I left. I resigned from the armored truck company, started working back at Pepsi, but on the Pepsi side, and I've been there ever since. They support my music. They support everything that I do.
Damn, man. You making that good money. I know you making that good money, man.
Nah, I mean, it's all right. It pays the bills. But you know what? I don't even look at the money. I'm happy there.
Yeah.
I'm happy there. I don't look at it as... I don't look at it as work, man. I look at them people as my family, everybody. I know everybody on first name basis, everybody that works there. From the top of the line to the owner, all the way down to the janitor. I know everybody, and I show them all the same respect. They show me the same respect and love, and I just love it at my job, B.
Man, I love that, bro. That's so great to hear, man. Damn, that's a good story, bro, to hear, man.
Word. So, you know, they say love makes you do crazy things. So the woman that I'm with, Wanda, right now, she's the reason that I'm the person that I am today, man, because she stuck by me through thick and thin. You know, there's been times when it was hard for me, and she always had my back, man. Because like I said, I lost my whole side of my family, my mother's side, my grandmother, grandfather, my mom's, my aunt, my uncle, my little cousin Corey. I mean, Karen and them are still there, but they're way in Arizona. I love them dearly as well. But, you know, my immediate family, man, is gone. I'm the only Deering left.
You know what's amazing about your story with Wanda, right? Is that a lot of times, especially in today's era, it's like a woman is expecting a man to already have it all together and to invest in her. You know what I mean? And there's not a lot of women anymore with the expectation of, I'm going to build together with my man, and he may not be at the point that he wants to be yet, but with time and with support, he can get there, right? Like you started at one point and then look at where you are now, head of security, right? But it took time. So a lot of times when you meet people, they want you to be already at that level, that top level or whatever, you know, and they don't want to do the building with you. So when you meet somebody that is willing to invest in you and to put in that work and see that potential in you, you got to hold on to that. You got to hold on to that, man.
That's without a doubt. Look, she don't have a whole bunch of kids. She got one son. She was divorced. She only had her husband. You know what I mean? Like, she don't have no track record or none of that. And it's like she supports what I do. She loves what I do. You know what I mean? And we have trust. That's the biggest thing that hurts relationship, is the trust factor. And she's been with me, so she trusts when I go out alone, because I set boundaries with the flirting and all of that. I set boundaries immediately. You know, I love my fans. I'm a social person, but I got a wife at home. You feel me? So I set boundaries early. I'm not looking for nothing new, because everything that I want is at home. And she knows that. You feel me? So that's why I love this relationship.
Respect, Mikey, man. It's a good message, bro. Like a lot of people need to hear, you know, so I'm really grateful for you to be able to share something like that on this platform.
No doubt.
Man.
No doubt, man.
So about 4 years ago, you spoke about MC Shan. Shout out to MC Shan. I've interviewed him a few times. He's a real dude. You always gonna know where you're gonna stand with Shan. He keeps it 100. He's at 100.
Do you notice that every time he posts, do you ever see me I put 10 100s on his post? That's because I always tell Shan, you always keep it 1,000. That's why I put those 10 100s there. I love Shan, man, with all my heart, bro. He's always been that dude.
Right. But Shan spoke about the best MCs from Queens, and he mentioned you.
Yeah.
And Vlad said, who?
Who?
You called him out and called him a jive turkey. He also interviewed Large Professor and spoke about Main Source too, right? So it's kind of a little crazy to not know Mikey D if you're going to talk about these certain things. And he also interviewed Grandmaster Cass, and he spoke about you battling Melle, right?
Exactly.
So how do you feel about Vlad now?
I don't feel any type of way. I mean, I get it now. I didn't understand it before as far as the social media thing. I'm still kind of new to it, but I'm not new. I'm learning how to maneuver through it. And I see that it's a clout thing. You know what I mean? It's you want somebody on your platform, especially a big platform like Vlad, he's looking at a dollar sign and not the actual story. You know what I mean? And I'm not a big enough name to draw that type of crowd to his platform, which is okay. That's just not real to me, you know, but I get it because you're one of those guys. I understand it, Vlad. You're not a hip hop historian. You're just, you know, you in it for the bag. And I get it. I get it.
Yeah, you know, I feel like Vlad, he's the godfather of this YouTube when it comes to hip hop journalism, right? Like he's worked really hard to get to the status, so you can't really take away from what he's done. Now, no one's ever going to agree 100% with what anyone does, right? You know what I mean? But you reached out to him though at one point, right? Did he see the messages or?
He ain't seen nothing. He ain't never responded to me, man. I sent emails and everything. He ain't never reached back to me. I don't know. Maybe I should try again. I don't know. I'll tell you what, after y'all see what I do to Serch, he'll probably reach out to me. Okay? Just remember. There's a little
more controversy to the story now that you could sell it a little bit or something, right?
Yeah, like just remember Search and Destroy. Just remember that title, okay?
No, because you know what? Like I feel like you have such a great story though. So, but I know that this era of hip hop journalism is just, you see it though. It's a lot about the most salacious things that you can possibly get, right? Like when YouTube first started, you would have videos of somebody, a famous rapper, just talking about something simple, their career, how this song came about. It would get views. It would get a lot of views. A lot of people were interested in that content still, right? Now, if you put out that same clip, not a lot of people will watch it because it's not salacious enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get
it. It's kind of dishonorable to hip hop history because like a lot of times now people are going to chase the bag. Obviously it's going to be like, well, I love hip hop and I want to make that type of content, but nobody's going to watch it. So what do I do? Like, you know, it's kind of a tough spot to be in, but it's like for the fans, like we need more fans to want to care about hip hop and these stories. So one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you was because I looked at your history and I was like, man, he got history with all these people, like so many, like look at the stories that we spoke about. These are things that need to be spoken about more, right? It's not just about Serch and whatever, like, yeah, that's like what's going on right now, but
that's
you talk about LL Cool J, Grandmaster Cass, Melle, like all these different things.
Run DMC. Come on, Run DMC.
So many different things that like, there's so much value to your story. And I think that the current status of where hip hop journalism now is at, it's sad that not enough people see the value in some of these stories. You know what I mean? Unless it's like, fuck Serch or like fuck this, I went off and I go crazy and like, you know what I mean? And then it's I'll click the video because of that reason, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what do they say? Controversy sells, right?
Right. So I get it. It's like, you know, you kind of got to play the game a little bit, you know, But I just feel like if people are gonna watch those controversial clips, at least watch the other ones too, where the person is talking about their life story and their career and everything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
At least like watch it in a full scope. That's why when I do interviews, I love to cover somebody's story like we did in a full scope, like right now, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But how has it been for you to be in hip hop for so long, and you've seen the evolution of media and how it's grown to be where it's at today?
I mean, it feels wonderful, man. Not to say that I agree with everything that's going on and stuff like that. And it's just everybody's out to chase this bag instead of just being authentic with it. It's just crazy, man. So, but I love it. I think it's a lot easier now, though, with this social media stuff we got going on. This internet thing is wonderful. I wish we had it back then, man. But, you know, it is what it is. What I'm doing, I'm only here to lead by example. So I'm here to inspire my peers, motivate my peers, and educate the youth. And lead by example, practice what I preach. Let them know that it is okay to be yourself, man. Because I'm going to be me no matter how old I am, how successful I am, how unsuccessful I am. Nobody's going to be me but me, and it's all right. You feel me? And that's what I want people to understand. We can't let people tell us that it's too late, you're too old, whatever, man. Whatever.
That's the problem with hip hop though, is that like other genres like rock and roll, they show more respect to their legends, the people that have been in the genre for a long time. But in hip hop, it's like there's an ageism aspect of it, of like, oh, you too old to be rapping now, you know, like and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't.
Put it this way: if I just started rapping today and I wanted to quit my job and find a rap career today, then you're too old. But right. I've been rapping. Hip hop raised me from a child to now.
No, you're absolutely right. If you've had a history and roots in this, then that shouldn't apply to you. Now, if you're talking about some grown man at 40 or something like that, being like, yo, I'm starting my rap career today.
I'm going to start my career today. And nah.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. Who knows? He might be nice, though.
Well, you know what, like you said, with social media, you never know. Sometimes people could just blow up off of this, right? So we can't really say, right? You know, I mean, but
it is what it is, man.
Most of the time, it's a
We get the idea. Because like I said, man, I was 13 years old and 12, 13. And hip hop raised me from that time to right now. Because hip hop definitely saved me, got me in some trouble too. But my mistakes have always been my best teachers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ashamed of any of it. I'm happy for everything. And hip hop was like my father, man. Hip hop was like my father.
We talking for the last like 45 years now, right?
Yeah, man. 1979 to right now.
Wow. It's amazing, man.
Word.
All right, Mikey. Last question, man.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something you have never said in another interview, whether it be a story or additional details to a story that you left out.
Yeah. There's a few of them. Wait, you just stumped me. Maybe I'm glad LL never responded to me, man, because I was a little nervous of that motherfucker. that mother right there, man. I think he was the only one.
You knew you met your match, basically, like your good counterpart, right?
Yeah. So I was poking the bear, hoping that he wouldn't come back for real, but I would have been ready. But it would have been problems. So thanks, L. I still love you, man.
It would have been a good battle for sure.
It would have been crazy, kid, because I was poking him, and I don't think I was really fully prepared at the time. You know what I mean? And I know how disciplined he is and how he is.
Do you think that perspective came in hindsight, though? Like, looking back, you realize, like, I probably wasn't prepared, and at the time, like, you were just more, like, courageous because of ego?
Yeah, that's why I said my ego is pride, man.
Right.
You feel me? My ego wouldn't allow me to shut my mouth when I was supposed to. Like, ego gets you in trouble sometimes, man. Ego's supposed to tell you, yo, shut up, man. Not now. Because my man was a beast, you know. I knew I was a beast, but he was the only one that I was really worried about in the back of my mind, man. So don't tell him I said that.
Shout out to L, man. All right, Mikey D, man, I just want to thank you so much for your time, bro. Is there anything else that you want to say to the people before we go ahead and wrap it up? What you got going on right now?
Yo, check this out. I got a brand new album getting ready to drop in November, Hip Hop History Month. It's also my birthday month. The name of the album is called Poppin' Kim, baby. Legends Don't Die. Poppin' Kim. Poppin' Kim was a landmark in Lawton back in the 80s. This was like when Run DMC used to come there by 40s. The Fat Boys would pull up by 40s. I even posted something with Muggs from Cypress Hill and Psycho Les. They used to come to Poppin' Kim and buy 40s.
Man.
That was my second home. That was my stomping ground, Merrick Boulevard. I was in front of that store battling whoever wanted to get some of this. So I felt that Poppin' Kim would be the perfect title for the perfect mood that I'm in right now. The album is very authentic. I got producers on it such as Dr. Butcher, Herb Middleton, C4, Phantom of the Beat, K-Cut. You know, there's a lot. Picasso, Crit Kelsey from London, J. King from London. It's just incredible. Features by DMC, of course. I got Bumpy Knuckles, my brother. I got my man.
You got Bumpy Knuckles on there?
Yeah, Bumpy Knuckles actually produced the track that I'm on with him. It's called Park Jam Legends.
Freddie Fox, right?
Freddie Fox is my brother, man.
Oh, man.
I see I'm going to have to send you some gems, man. I'm going to have to send you some gems. And I'm glad you got WhatsApp because I got some stuff for you. So what I'm doing with this album is I licensed it to a label in Finland called Kool Cat Records, along with my man Tommy from the Recluse crew. They kind of L2 from over there in Finland, because I didn't want this album to be mixed into the gumbo pot that's going on this side of the map right now, because I figured it would have got lost in the sauce.
Yo, you know, they say overseas in like Europe and everywhere, they appreciate hip hop way more.
They appreciate the culture.
The boom bap, they love that.
And that's why I decided to let it go over there first, because it's easier to promote an already successful project over here. So let it gain its success over there while I'm over here preparing for the next thing. So we're going to have vinyl and all of that. And then we're going to bring it back on this side, because I don't want to do the streams first. I'll do the streams last. But I do have two singles out right now that's available to stream. One of them is called Legends Don't Die by Mikey D. And the other one is out right now. It just came out last Friday. I haven't even been promoting it because this search thing came up, but it's called Keep 'Em Shook, produced by Amadeus 360 Beat King. Fire. So be on the lookout for the Poppin' Kim album, man. And other than that, I'm just having a whole lot of fun. Stay tuned. You know, this week is going to be a real bumpy ride for somebody, you heard?